my volume's on. There we go.
Hi, Travis.
Hey, good morning, Fletch. Good morning. Rich is on his way. Something tells me the alarm didn't go off.
Yeah,
or the alarm was shut off.
It happens to everybody. Happens to me. Happens to you.
Yeah,
I overslept this morning too. Yeah.
Yeah, I overslept as well. I shut my alarm off. So whoops. But here we are, San Diego Sports 760. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. It is Thursday. That means
football.
Yeah, start of week 3 in the NFL, man. I cannot wait. I can't remember who's playing though. Giants. Giants are playing. And then
Giants are 10.5-point dogs. That is the biggest spread so far this season, by the way. 49ers, the first double-digit favorite of the year.
They should win an award.
They probably should.
Yeah, first double-digit favorite of the year.
The Las Vegas award.
Okay, all right.
Niners, Giants tonight, going to be a good one. Saquon Barkley officially out for this game, which sucks for the Giants. Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers, questionable heading in, is going to be a game-time decision for the 49ers. Remember, he and Brock Purdy have had this connection to start the season. But
a relationship.
Injuries are already starting to stack up in the NFL season, but week 3, here we are.
Yeah, this seems, I don't know. I think I said this last year too. Why are there so many injuries at the beginning of the season? And then it slowed down. And when Rich, he'll attest to this, he said, yeah, it happens, man. It happens at the beginning of the season. So look, things will shake out. There's a lot of people who have been out with injuries who we'll see come back here in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and a couple people who were suspended who will come back here in the next couple weeks, which could change the landscape of things a little bit. But is there any chance, any hope that the Giants even cover the spread?
You know, I think they actually might. This is a weird game. And when spreads are this big, like Vegas wants you to take the super favorite, especially at home. Like Vegas is telling you 10.5, that's nothing. Like the Niners will easily cover that, right? Well, not always the case. Like the Giants can definitely keep this one close. Now, the Giants that we've seen the first 2 weeks can't, but if the Giants can have some sort of revival to what they were last year, a team that had fight, a team that had passion, like I don't see any reason why they couldn't. This is still a talented roster. They just haven't played talented through the first couple of weeks, and Daniel Jones has been terrible. Now, this is a tough test with the 49ers defense, which has been graded out as one of the top in the league coming in through the first 2 weeks. But if Daniel Jones can find any of that passion and heart that he played with last season,
Danny Dimes,
it could be different. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I would hesitate to put money on this game. I really would.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Danny Dimes could come alive. I still see a 49er win here, but 10.5. I mean, look, they just barely beat the Rams. Rams a different team though than the Giants. The Rams are playing with heart, and the Giants are just trying to find some. But no, they beat the Rams by 7. Little controversy there, but either way, they beat them by 7. But I could see this being a 49er victory, but by 10. And here we go again, going, how's Vegas get it right every damn time?
So let me throw this out to you, Travis. Say you're running late to work this morning and you're driving in your car right now.
Okay.
Well, you know how to listen to us in clear HD radio?
Yeah.
Tune over to that iHeartRadio app. Rich Orberger, right. I'm talking to you driving into work. You make sure you flip over to that free iHeartRadio app. You hear Travis and I crystal clear coming through the airwaves.
Yeah, man. No, it's we joke about it, but it's pretty cool. And just download the free iHeartRadio app to whatever device you have, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever it is. And take us with you wherever you go. I mean, literally Big Rich, TD, and Fletch right in your pocket. San Diego Sports right in your pocket. You're driving to work. You're listening on the free iHeartRadio app. When you get out, we can follow you right into the office. It's so convenient.
If you miss any time during the show today, if you have to go out and do something, find us on the podcast. It's at Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. It's all over iHeartRadio. It's all over Spotify, Apple, all the places you can find us. So make sure you go check that out. But in the meantime, yesterday, I was walking my dog, and I listened to probably 25, 30 minutes of the Darren Smith Show on the free iHeartRadio app.
Nice. What's that dog's name again?
Brock.
Yeah, that's right. Brock. Little Brock. How's Brock doing? He's adjusting well to his new home.
Yeah, he's getting a little too comfortable, if you ask me.
What? What? He's part of the family now.
Yeah, but it's like already turning into his house, and I'm trying to set some boundaries. I'm trying to be mean dad, you know?
Why you got to be mean dad?
He doesn't like it. He gets really scared when I have to, talk, hey.
What?
No barking.
Oh.
He does not like
it. He's yelling at you.
No, he yells at Kendall when Kendall has food.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. But he knows that I'm not going to give him anything. So when I'm eating my steak and asparagus, which is pretty much all I eat these days, he comes up and like looks at it and then says that doesn't look very good and then walks away. But when Kendall has her plate of rice and cheese and chicken and like really yummy food,
wait. Brock wants rice and cheese and not steak?
I think he thinks he can just take advantage of Kendall.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, I think he just knows it's a no-go with me. And so yesterday he was barking and scratching at her for 20 minutes.
Wow.
And so I actually had to put on dad voice and, start the training.
Look at you, Fletch, the alpha in the house. How about that? How about that? Well, that's good. Little Brock, that you kidnapped him from his family. You've taken him to your home.
Adopted him and rescued him. He'd be on the streets if it wasn't for us.
He'd be a part of the homeless population.
Probably.
Wow.
That's what happens when you rescue dogs, man. You're saving their life. Or the worst, there's other alternatives to not just being part of the homeless population, but being part of the dead population.
Yeah, sweet.
So
sweet.
Little Brock is alive because of us. Brock Lee Fletcher.
Brock Lee Fletcher. How about that? Rich thanking us for the phone call, the wake-up call this morning. Whoops.
All right. So speaking of Rich, text line talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. If you don't know what that is, open up our show when the listen live link at San Diego Sports 760. And there's a little microphone right next to the play button. The question for that today is give us your best woke up late for work story.
Okay. All right. Made up or real?
Made up might be better.
Probably is. But yeah, man, hit us up on the talkback mic because we're going to be integrating that into the show a lot more. We'd love to have your voice on here. We're going to put together a little answering machine here for the Big Rich, TD, and Fletch show. And we're still trying to figure out what to name it. The Rip It line, Rip Line, Let It Rip. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Speaking of which, we got one yesterday from our guy, Joe Moon.
Joe Moon!
So this was during the Kevin Acee article or the Kevin Acee interview, which left us with exactly 1 minute on the other side because we always go a little long with Kevin. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have time to play this yesterday, Joe Moon, but I figured we'd play it right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Let's hear from Joe Moon. I mean, look, I've never heard that about Tennessee, but I feel like with that ratio, it does seem to go up in the ranks of top states, I guess.
And when you really think about it, ratio is everything in life. You got to have more good things than bad things, especially if you're trying to fill your hands. Yeah. More ladies.
You're talking about games on Monday night right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. More ladies to guys in Tennessee. Joe Moon, I hope you had a field day. More tuna to people fishing.
You know what? That for some reason that works in more than one context. Yeah. I was like, wow, Fletch, you're really diving in on this. Well, yeah, man, use the talkback mic. Lower right-hand side there, you'll see a little microphone. Tap that mic. Send us a shout out. Send us whatever you want to send us, and we'll see if we can get you on the radio here. So we're going to be using more and more of that. That's all in the free iHeartRadio app, which you want to make sure you have downloaded to your phone. We're talking a little bit about Thursday Night Football. We will be getting more into that. We also have Lauren Carpenter coming up on the show today, just in a few minutes here, actually. So get your fantasy team set a little bit later, huh? Cam Inman up in San Francisco, talk a little 49ers. We'll get into that. And we've got a ton of giveaways. Again, a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream. We've got a pair of tickets to go see Guns N' Roses. We have a pair of tickets for the Aztecs versus Boise State. That's tomorrow night. And it's Thursday, so we mustache you a question. That's all coming up a little bit later on the show.
And those Aztecs tickets, this is the last chance you'll have to win tickets. So you can buy tickets anytime at goaztecs.com, but this will be your last chance on this radio station to win a pair of Aztecs tickets. And we're going to do that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour.
Right on. I dig it, man. Meanwhile, also here in San Diego, the Padres can't lose.
They may never lose again.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. What if they win out? What if
they do?
What does that change here?
Well, I don't think it gets them a playoff spot. Unfortunately, it might get
Well,
them like one game out of a playoff spot, but they're 4.5 back right now. And if you look at the wild card standings, there's 3 teams ahead of them before you even get to the final wild card spot.
yes.
Which now the Chicago Cubs, who currently hold the wild card spot, have been flailing. Their their record has been opposite the Padres over the last 10 games. The Padres have been 8-2, they've been 2-8. So like you look at teams ahead of them, unfortunately for the Padres, for the most part, they're doing really well outside of the Chicago Cubs. So you think about what you have to leapfrog to get there, and 9 games just isn't enough time to make up 4.5, in my opinion. Now, that can change in a heartbeat, and everyone can start losing, and if the Padres keep winning, maybe they back their way into a playoff spot.
Well,
maybe.
that's the only way, right, Fletch? If there's a meltdown ahead of them at this point, it's probably too little too late. What's crazy is with 9 games left, 4.5 games out of a playoff spot, you're sitting here looking at this going, well, I mean, mathematically, there's a chance. However, that's a big equation. There's a lot of numbers there. There's a lot of multiplication and addition and subtraction and division and all the things that have to happen for the Padres to actually make it into the playoffs. So set your expectations real low. I mean, real low.
Now, after yesterday's game, their chances did improve, according to Fangraphs, who had them at a 0.2 for the last several days. They're now up to a 0.4.
Oh, okay.
0.4% chance to make the playoffs. That means out of every 400 times this season would play out, the Padres would make the playoffs once. Is that accurate? Is that math correct?
What was the math one more time again?
If it's 0.4%,
yeah,
every 400 times this season would play out, the Padres would make the playoffs once.
Yeah, I believe that would be correct.
Betty does math.
Yeah, or is it 40? No. Yeah, it's
I think I'm right.
400. You're correct. We have to play this out 400 times.
There's always once.
Yeah.
It's just like playing the lottery, Travis. If I do it enough, eventually I am going to win and leave you and Rich in the dust.
Well, and if that was your odds in the lottery, you would play that all day.
Hell yeah.
You would play that all day long. So there, the door is cracked open. There's a little bit of light still shining in. It's just pretty dim light at this point. But they did beat the Rockies yesterday, 3-2.
They swept the Rockies.
Yeah, swept the Rockies. So, I mean, they've won 7 in a row now. The entire season, they couldn't go more than 3. So they finally did that. They did 4, and they just kept it rolling.
Can they get to 8?
Can they get to 10? Can they get to, what would it be, 16 in a row? That would be how this thing plays out. Who do they play next?
They play the Cardinals in San Diego. It's the last home series of the season. And I believe that starts tomorrow.
So they're teams they've had to play over the past 7 games, I guess. One of the teams, the Dodgers. That's a tough team. But I don't know if the Dodgers were really pouring it in there on that game.
Yeah, they already clinched the National League West.
Right.
They really don't have much to play for anymore.
Right. So then they played the Diamondbacks, who not great.
No, they played the A's.
Oh, the A's. That's right. They played the A's, and then they played the Rockies. So both of those teams a little soft. Those are teams they should win. Those are the teams that throughout the season, if they were playing, you would expect them to sweep.
Who, by the way, neither of those teams have anything to play for either, because they've already been eliminated.
Right. So there are some factors there. However, the Padres have played well. They've been battling back. They've if they got behind in games, they've come back to win. Here's another close game that they ended up winning. That was a big problem all year, that they lose these games by 1 or 2 runs. It's been awful. So to see the turnaround, fantastic. That makes you feel good. This is a little more of a test here.
Well, the Cardinals are in dead last in their division, and they also are not going to make the playoffs.
Correct.
But then you get the Giants, who the Giants and the Padres, if you look at them right now, are actually in extremely similar positions. The Giants 76-76 on the year, the Padres 75-78. That is going to be a bloodbath where both teams still have a mathematical shot of getting to the postseason, and that series could actually be huge for either of these teams. Like the Padres, I know that we've kind of counted them out over the last several weeks, months, this whole season, but they haven't counted themselves out. And I think the one thing that really points to that is Manny Machado still being on the field.
Yeah. And Manny, who was questioned over his leadership, is trying to show that he's a leader. I just don't know. I mean, I guess at this point when you're going, there's 9 games left. If you want to stick it out, stick it out. But at the same time, if you're saying you're going into surgery, if you can get ahead of that by which would have been almost a month when he announced it, maybe you should have done that.
I'm gonna stand firm and say he should have done that, and I truly do believe that. Like, you look at guys like Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove, who essentially shut their seasons down. Now, if something changes here over the next 9 games, and we see that, well, the chance is a little greater than 0.4%, maybe Musgrove does make a comeback to pitch in the last couple weeks of the season. But the Manny Machado thing, I think he should have shut it down. I think it was the smart thing to do for the team. I think it was the smart thing to do for himself. Because if you're looking at 2023 as 2023 is, which there's a minuscule chance that they actually make this work and get into the postseason, 2024, you're running it back with mostly the same guys. Why would you not want the same guys all completely healthy to start the season? If the longer Manny Machado waits, the more chance it is he will not be healthy to start next season.
Yeah, and Manny Machado, I mean, this surgery is a 6-month recovery time. So, I mean, you do the math.
And he's not getting younger.
Well, yeah, right. But I mean, who is? So, I mean, come on. Look, but
Jessica
do the math.
Alba.
Yeah, oddly. Yeah, that's a good call. What's the
Sandra Bullock still looks really good.
Ex-
Jennifer Aniston looks amazing.
What is Jennifer Aniston doing?
I think baby blood.
Just drinking it or bathing in it?
Drinking it, rolling it onto her skin.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, she does look magnificent. That is true. All of those. Scarlett Johansson seems to get better as she gets older. So
we do also need to make an apology for something that was said on the show yesterday.
We do,
but I don't think it's a full apology.
Wait, whoa! What did we say?
I'm not turning all the way around on this.
Who called us out?
No one called us out. It's just fact checking the show, and afterwards, I'm realizing that what we may have been a little ahead of our skis on something.
On what?
Trailer.
Why?
So Jason Kelsey did do that radio hit, and
Right.
he did say everything's 100% true.
Right.
And that all happened. But the radio station conveniently cut that answer off after he said that. He would go on to say, and of course I'm joking about everything. Ha 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 ha. I don't think he's joking.
Well, Taylor Swift updated us on it.
What'd she say?
She said she updated how she feels about it. Do you want to do this now or do you want to wait?
Now I'm interest peaked.
Well, Taylor Swift said that she finds Travis Kelce very charming as the pair continue to text. They're a texting couple.
Okay, and there's also that picture that's still going around of Taylor Swift. Now, it's not 100% confirmed it's Taylor Swift. It's a really low ball cap. You know, it's like what celebrities do when they're out.
Yeah.
But it's her and his mom at the Chiefs game. I'm not out on trailer. I think trailer is a thing.
Trailer is a thing.
Trailer's totally
Trailer's a thing. Trailer's happening. Yeah, I mean, look, Jason probably tried to cover up what he went, oh, wait, maybe I probably shouldn't have said that. That's all. That's it.
The other thing that went through my mind last night when we started getting comments on our TikTok about trailer was if Travis Kelce ends up marrying Taylor Swift.
Whoa, you are really jumping the gun here.
He becomes the richest NFL player immediately because she just cleared like $1 billion on that tour.
Well, I don't know if she made $1 billion.
Right, but she made a lot.
Oh, yeah, but I mean...
And that's not her first tour.
You're talking about current NFL player? Because Gisele Bündchen probably made more than...
current NFL players. He would become the richest because, I mean, you think about the money that Taylor Swift has to have. It's got to be outrageous.
Let's see what Taylor Swift...
I'm thinking it's at least half a bill.
Let's see. What is Taylor Swift's net worth? This was as of September 2023. I don't see a number.
Half a bill.
Let's see. She's earned 138 million in digital sales, digital record sales, 51 million in album sales. So we're looking at 200 million. And gosh, this is the worst article ever.
And she's been selling out tours since she was like 19 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right. It's probably in the $500 million range. Probably there.
Team trailer for life,
yeah.
dude.
Wait, hold on.
Trav, win one for the little guys. Win one for the sports guys.
For what?
That's what I'm
Team
saying.
trailer?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
telling Travis Kelce to win one for the little
sorry.
guy.
You said Trav. Thought that was me.
Oh no, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
You've now been demoted to the second most important Travis on this show. Now that Travis Kelce is giving us constant TikTok content that's getting 5,000-6,000 views every time we post anything.
What's weird is even before Travis Kelce, I was the number 2 Travis on the show somehow. Do you call Travis Kelce Trav?
I do now.
Okay.
We're a first name basis.
Okay.
You know, I did meet Travis Kelce once.
What did you try to punch him?
No, but it was the same day the Joe Montana thing happened.
Oh, he was out there at the Super Bowl media.
He was doing an interview at the table directly behind us. And I, of course, like my job at those things at Radio Rose is to go see a famous person, go try to get them for an interview. And so I saw Travis Kelce and I turned around and I just tapped him. And I was like, hey, when you're done with these guys, they were in a commercial break and he was just talking with them. I was like, would you want to come over here? And he's like, no. And then turned around and kept doing his thing.
Cool. Things went well out there for you. Coming up this hour, by the end of this hour, we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld. I can't talk this morning. I need some coffee or something. But win a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. With every twist and turn, death-defying drop, all new special effects, and more scares in 5 terror-filled houses, we'll give you something to scream about. There's even more dark magic lurking around every corner with electrifying and mesmerizing live entertainment. The screamiest event of the season is now at SeaWorld San Diego's Hallow Scream. It's starting September 29th, runs through Halloween night, only on select nights. For more information, go to SeaWorldSanDiego.com or just keep it locked in here. And he did it! He made it, everybody!
Oh my God.
God, you look so good, Richard.
I feel so well rested.
Yeah. I've never slept so much in my life.
I honestly may haven't in a year or 3.
Wow. Well, check it out. Now we got Rich here. We got the band back together.
Yeah.
Coming up here shortly. Next segment, we're going to speak with Lauren Carpenter. We're going to get your fantasy team squared away, and the whole team will be back with you. Coming up next.
Holy shit. I didn't set
This update is presented by Macys Backstage. We will begin here with the Padres, who have now won 7 straight games after not winning more than 3 in a row all year. Padres will welcome the Cardinals to town next for that final home series at Petco Park. 9 games left. Padres still 4.5 out of a postseason spot. In the NFL, Week 3 begins tonight with the 49ers hosting the New York Giants at Levi's Stadium in the Bay Area. Las Vegas has the 49ers as a 10.5-point favorite heading into this game. Elsewhere in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings add to their running back room. They trade for Rams running back Cam Akers, and the Cleveland Browns, who are still reeling after the Nick Chubb injury, have added Kareem Hunt to their team on a 1-year, $4 million deal. College football, Aztecs open up conference play tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. We got pregame coverage for you starting at 5:30, kickoff between the Aztecs and Boise State at 7:30. What will you find at Macys Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macys Backstage store near you.
It's Big Rich, Cheaty, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760, and we present our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival live this Friday and Saturday from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The biggest names in music all on one stage. You can experience the show anywhere because it's streaming live only on Hulu. You can also listen on iHeartRadio starting at 7 p.m. Sponsored by HES Solar. Also, if you want to get tickets, they just released some new ones. $55. $55.
Oh.
Yeah, AXS.com. If you want to grab tickets for $55 to this event, it's going to be insane. And take a little road trip. Head up to 15. There's your excuse for a Vegas road trip.
Okay, we have a very special guest joining the show. If you are staring at your fantasy roster, trying to make sense of it all, I would suggest you listen very carefully to Lauren Carpenter, who joins us on the show at Stepmom Lauren on Twitter, or I should say the website formerly known as Twitter, x.com. Lauren, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. How are you today?
We are very, very good. Lauren does fantasy football analysis for FTN Fantasy. You could also find it right there at that very same handle on X as well. So, Lauren, how does your roster look today, week 2, compared to how you thought it would look, or your rosters? I know many people are owners of a lot of fantasy football teams, especially since I'm sure all of your teams have Puka Nacua on them.
Oh, every single one. All of them. He was my 101 overall was Puka Nacua. That's it. Unfortunately, I missed out on him on a lot of my waivers. I did not put enough fab in for him on many teams. I'm a little worried about him because I think he's going to be a short-term rental. Matthew Stafford, though, when he finds a connection with a wide receiver, he does not have eyes for anybody else. The problem is his first wife is coming back, and his name is Cooper Kupp. So this could be an interesting dynamic that we have going here. So Matthew Stafford is more than capable of handling 2 upper echelon wide receivers. So I think Puka's going to be okay. But even if he gets rid of, let's say, half of his targets, because I think he got 20 last week, which was ridiculous, he's still going to be okay. So yeah, Puka Nacua, that was an interesting one. Jake Seeley, we're also on Sirius XM radio, but Jake Seeley mentioned how we had talked about how Nacua was going to be great maybe later on in the season. We did not expect a week 1, blowout performance. So that was interesting. But how I'm sitting is pretty decent. I'm in about 15 leagues, and about half of them, I am 2-0. The other half, I am 0-2. So we're just feeling this year out. Lots of injuries that we have to contend with, which is never fun.
Yeah, there are lots of injuries out there, Lauren. Are there any sleepers that we should be looking at to pick up? I mean, is there somebody that's a hidden gem that you see?
Yeah, there's a couple of them, although they're probably already snatched up off of waivers if you are in a league that is very active. Kyron Williams was a big one, and they just traded away Cam Akers, as we heard coming in from the break. I'm interested to see what's going on with the Alexander Madison situation. Like, do you know from Zoolander when they saw each other and then they gave each other those evil eyeballs? That's going to be Cam Akers and Alexander Madison coming in together. I kid. I'm just joking. I saw a really funny gif about that on Twitter, so I had to bring it up. So Kyron Williams is a good one. Zach Moss is interesting, although I don't love the matchup. Jerome Ford is kind of an obvious one here, but a deeper sleeper at the running back position that I think everyone should kind of pay attention to without Jamal Williams. And this is going to be another short-term rental without Alvin Kamara quite yet. is Tony Jones Jr., running back for the New Orleans Saints. I think he's going to be pretty good this week. He was great last week as well. He's also really familiar with this system. He's kind of a name where it's like, oh yeah, that guy. I remember him. Yeah. So he's having his moment. And I think Tony Jones Jr. is a name that is likely still floating out there. Another little tidbit I'll throw out to everybody when it comes to waivers. Just because waivers have passed and you didn't get your guy, fear not. Go and see who your league mates dropped, because you never know. They might want to slide one under the radar from you. And then, no. Go and see who they dropped to pick up the latest shiny new toy when it comes to every single week.
Lauren, I'm in a dynasty league that's 12 mans, and
I'm
our
sorry.
bench spots are so deep. It is so tough.
No.
Are you married?
No,
I am actually.
You need to apologize.
Probably not for long.
Lauren,
no.
you need to apologize to us because we're his work wives, and all he wants to talk about is dynasty.
So what I was saying is that the league mates take it extremely seriously, and so Jerome Ford has been on my team.
League mates.
Yes,
You.
I know everyone. Yes, I take it seriously too. But so Jerome Ford has been on my team as I was waiting for him to handcuff Nick Chubb at some point. Well, this time is here. Do I need to worry about Kareem Hunt coming in and stealing a bunch of touches from him?
That's a really good question. No, I don't think you need to worry. He's going to be more fantasy annoying than he's going to be fantasy relevant. There was a reason why the Browns did not bring him back. And here we go. And he's now back out of necessity. Oh, Nick Chubb, my dearest, I am so sorry. Life is not fair. So Jerome Ford, I think, is still going to be the RB1, and Kareem Hunt is going to have RB1 upside, just depending on the matchup. He is good. He's a good pass catching back, right? But Jerome Ford also can catch passes out of the backfield as well. So I think Jerome Ford is going to be relatively safe. You won't have to worry about that, but Kareem Hunt will be fantasy annoying. Just be prepared for it. It's going to be irritating. Plus, he's also familiar with the system, so there's not going to be much of a learning curve, and there won't be much downtime for Kareem Hunt as he comes into week 3. So expect him to be right out there as long as he passes physicals and everything is good to go. Then he should be fine and he'll be on the field. But Jerome Ford is the dude. But this week's matchup is no bueno. Just letting you know, this is not going to be pretty.
When you say fantasy annoying, is that just like vulturing touchdowns? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, who was that just scored? It was
So Jerome Ford does all the work to get them down the field, and then Kareem Hunt gets the 1-yard run at the goal line.
Yes, exactly. He needs a water break, and then Joe Jabroni goes in and scores the touchdown. Like that's
Perfect.
that's fantasy annoying.
Yeah, people love that. They love that when their running back gets all the yards and none of the touchdowns. That's fun.
That's great.
Lauren Carpenter joining this morning, fantasy analyst for FTN Fantasy. You can find her at X at Stepmom Lauren. Also, you're on SiriusXM. You do a show on SiriusXM.
That is correct. Yes, it's myself, Jake Thiele, myself, and Chris Meany. We're all in FTN, and the show is called FTN Fantasy Show. It is every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. We have a lot of really good fantasy advice in there, but it usually derails into weirdness about 27 and a half minutes in. And then after that, we're just laughing and having a great time. But we do have really good fantasy analysis for you in there, but we make you laugh on a Saturday morning. It's good stuff.
Really good stuff. Yeah. I guess before you go, we've got a Thursday night football game, some fantasy implications.
Is it really a game? Can we classify this as a game?
That's also a really solid point. I kind of feel like anytime we have a predetermined ending, though, something crazy happens, right? So I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping for a game, but you're absolutely right. It looks like the 49ers are going to steamroll the Giants. No Saquon Barkley. How nervous should people be considering his past with injury history? Is this a time to start scrambling the Jets and freak out and maybe pick up one of those running backs like a Tony Jones Jr.?
I would pick up Tony Jones Jr. no matter what. I think that he's going to be a great, like I said, short-term option this week if you are struggling at running back. When it comes to Saquon Barkley particularly, I am not that concerned. He has a ginormous chip on his shoulder about the size of Montana, and I don't think that a little ankle injury, hopefully the quote, ordinary ankle sprain. I'm sorry. Like when I sprain my ankle, it friggin' hurts. Like I'm not, this isn't ordinary. This stinks. So for the next couple of weeks, yes, this is going to be a problem. But whenever you have a player that I don't like to use the word injury prone. Those are dirty words, but maybe not 100% sustainable. It is a good idea to always have the backup option. In this case, this is Matt Breida. But again, this is not a pretty matchup. This is not a pretty matchup at all. If you're desperate, you can plug in Matt Breida. But I would try to avoid that if you can. Hopefully you have a few other options there. But yeah, I would keep an eye on Saquon Barkley. I wouldn't freak out just yet. It's early, thank goodness. We are not late into our fantasy season when this is happening. So he is going to come back and let's say, knock on wood, play for the rest of the season and get you into your fantasy playoffs.
Well,
Travis just added Tony Jones Jr.
As you said it, I was trying to. I literally was looking at a tight end to drop off my roster, and then it goes, Laser Cats picked up Tony Jones Jr. I'm like, who's
Cats,
listening
love
to our
it.
show?
Yeah.
It was Travis. Hey,
Yeah.
Lauren, awesome stuff as always. I watched a lot of what you do on Twitter or on X. So we'll do this again real soon
Absolutely.
if you'll allow it. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Have a good one. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Yeah, that Hansel. Derek and Hansel. You two break it up. We're gonna have a walk-off.
She said, Tony Jones Jr., I see both of you guys pick up your phone. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Well, I didn't even realize that I forgot you were in this league.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
It's because I'm 0-2.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Did you guys see how I lost to freaking Dominic Giamacarena?
Did you really?
By 0.2 points.
A lot of bad beats on fantasy because of the injuries. Like a lot of people, their seasons are all of a sudden like just hitting the skids because of injuries. And also, like there have been some really odd starts. If you have any receiver on the Bengals right now,
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Or Joe Burrow for that matter.
I mean, and then so listen to this. So you think like week 1, got to bench T. Higgins. Well, then he has 2 touchdowns in week 2.
Yeah.
Like okay. Anyways, Lauren, she will be a fixture on this show. I can promise you. She's super, super informative. That was a lot of fun chatting with her. Okay, a big lie was told. Some people are calling it the big lie. And we're going to break it down coming up next. Are they ever getting together? That's next. So if you're waking up early or late for work and you want to listen to us wherever you're going this morning, go on the free iHeartRadio app. If you don't have this app yet, download it now. Really cool. You can listen in the morning while you're getting the kids out to the car for work. You can pop it on your speaker in the car, connect via Bluetooth, successfully drop off the kids, head to work, and then obviously you can listen to us in the office all day long. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Subscribe, like, send to friends, and here's something I don't like. I don't like the fact that all of a sudden certain comments that we were really excited over yesterday of all of a sudden being walked back.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Mike needs to be on. I was focusing on the camera.
Yeah, this doesn't feel good
So the
at all.
awesome part about TikTok is that clip did pretty well on TikTok, 7,000 views, something like that, of us talking about trailer. But
What the hell's the matter with
the
you?
first like 9 comments are he walked that back. He walked that back.
Yeah.
He said he was joking. He walked that back. It doesn't mean it's not true. People walk things back all the time. Trailer for life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hashtag trailer. We are in for the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift combo trailer. Yeah.
Okay, check this out. Though.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce made a comment on what he thought was the biggest turnoff for him in a woman.
Okay.
He said a high maintenance woman. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if trailer can work. I don't know Taylor Swift. But when you look at Taylor Swift, I mean, I feel like I know Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs.
I know it.
I honestly think it's everybody's favorite. Like, I mean, all of her songs are everyone's favorite. It's her voice is now the soundtrack of just about everything you're doing with your life because she's the biggest star in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. Really honest. If you started dating Taylor Swift, like because Kelce walks through the door one day, it's just Travis, he's just here, he's hanging out, he's playing tight end for us. And then all of a sudden he starts dating Taylor Swift. Like what happened if our Travis all of a sudden started, like would you start acting different around him?
No.
I think I would.
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
I'd start asking you for money.
I would just be I'd be like, God, like me and Travis, we're always talking about Taylor. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. I mean, I think I would if you were dating Taylor Swift, and he'd be pissed, by the way.
Well, who knows? I mean, I would pitch it to her like this could be very good for all of us.
Well, yeah, and thinking about that,
Doing this for our family.
I don't think Sarah would be that mad.
Uh,
Isn't she a pretty big Taylor Swift fan?
yeah. In fact,
Haley would be stoked.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Well, yeah. Yeah, that
Haley
is
would
true.
be running around like my stepmom's Taylor Swift. It's just like, well, honey, we're just dating. She's my stepmom.
So Sarah says that Taylor Swift is the greatest concert she's ever been to ever in her life, and nothing will ever top it.
I can't tell you how many people I've heard this from.
It's like she's
JJ Watt said that.
JJ Watson. Okay, so I saw a video of a woman, actually 2 women, because it panned to the second woman. They were leaning over one of those, I don't know, those metal banisters that they put when they're lining you up to get on like theme rides at parks and stuff like that.
I believe they're called stanchions.
Stanchions? Yeah. Okay. So after a Taylor Swift concert,
for the queue,
there was a woman
Promo boy.
who had her arms folded, her hands folded over each other, and was sobbing as if a loved one had passed away because the concert was over.
That's everybody at those shows.
It was bonkers.
It makes me think maybe I should go to one of these shows.
Probably should.
Yeah, but the ticket prices are they're not inexpensive.
Well, they aren't if you start playing Underdog Fantasy.
That's true. That's true.
I want to talk to you a little bit about Underdog Fantasy and the amount of money that you could win if you just simply deposit. And if it's your first deposit, and if you're signing up for the first time, welcome to the app. Underdog Fantasy is awesome. Just sign up with promo code XTRA. And Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100. It's that simple. I did it. Travis did it. Fletch did it. So again, sign up with promo code XTRA. And if you put in $5, it turns into 10. You put in 50, it turns into 100. You put in $100, well, it's doubled up to $200. And then you can play this awesome pick'em game they have where you select between 2 to 5 players and you just pick whether they're going to go lower or higher on their stat total. You know, rushing touchdowns for, I don't know, Saquon Barkley is not going to be playing tonight, but you get the idea.
I got one for you.
Let me hear
right now, there's a special on Underdog because I'm setting my lineup right now. Daniel Jones, half a yard.
Okay.
That's easy cash.
You can include him into your pick'em, and then you can be on your way to winning. 2 player selections, that gives you 4 times multiplier. 3 is a 6 time, all the way up to 20 times multiplier if you go 5 for 5. So like I just said, if you have $5 and you want to just go ahead and do a 5-player pick'em, you hit all 5, and then boom, that's $100. Okay, so yeah, sign up today. Must be 18 plus. Present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Okay, we got a big Thursday nighter, or is it for one team? And running back movement in the NFL. We got to get into this because we have some injuries and some interest. We'll break it all down coming up next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
We're number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Macys Backstage. Padres have now won 7 straight games. They take down the Rockies 3-2 yesterday at Petco Park. Padres welcoming the Cardinals to town next for their final home series at Petco Park for the year. 9 games left. Padres 4.5 out of a postseason spot. In the NFL, Week 3 begins tonight. 49ers hosting the New York Giants at Levi Stadium in the Bay Area. Las Vegas has the Niners as a 10.5-point favorite heading into this game. Elsewhere in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings add to their running back room as they trade for the Rams running back Cam Akers. And the Cleveland Browns, who are still reeling after that Nick Chubb injury, they've added Kareem Hunt to their team on a 1-year, $4 million deal. Tomorrow in college football, Aztecs opening up conference play at Snapdragon Stadium. We got pregame coverage for you starting at 5:30. Kickoff between the Aztecs and Boise State with Ted and Rich on the call is at 7:30. All of that can be heard right here on San Diego Sports 760 and the free iHeartRadio app. What will you find at Macys Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macys Backstage store near you.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. The band is back together for a full hour this time.
Woo!
Sorry. Didn't set any alarms last night.
It's okay.
No big deal,
Once a year.
fellas.
Isn't that the rule?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody who works mornings, actually, shoot, everybody should get one a year. But feeling great. Definitely well rested.
It looks like it.
Yeah. The colors return to my face. I look like a new man.
You also have an adorable little patch of hair that's popping out the front of your baseball cap.
There you go.
It's childlike wonder. That's what that looks like. Yeah,
I do. I look like one of those. What do you call it? Yeah, cartoon
If
characters.
it was positioned better, it would be alfalfa.
yeah. It's very cartoonish, and I like it a lot.
This Padres team, holy smokes! I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, G-Man Choi plays hero last night, along with Luis Campusano, who's on an absolute tear to finish out this season. They beat the Rockies, if you missed it yesterday, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to baseball anymore, and I completely understand why, because it's been a heartbreaking season. The Padres are just screaming into the void as they go down swinging. So yeah, I get it. The NFL's back. We have Thursday Night Football, but you have to acknowledge what we're seeing. The second straight series sweep, this time over Colorado, a 3-2 win last night. And I guess I'll put a bow on it for me talking about the Padres today by saying I'm frustrated that we didn't see this earlier. And so as much as I want to celebrate this, outside of like cheering on certain players, like watching Blake Snell pitch for the last time this season, probably his last time as a Padre, hopefully building for next year. I don't, there's not a lot of positive takeaways, honestly.
No, I'm in the same boat. And I think that the majority of people are. I know there's a lot of Padre diehards who are going, no, there's still a chance. There's still a chance. And technically there is. It's just, let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. There would have to be so many dominoes that fall ahead of them to make it happen. But in the meantime, I guess I'm shocked. It's cool to see a 7-game winning streak finally, but it does kind of hurt your heart a little bit.
They might
Where
even
you been?
Extend this to a third straight sweep over the Cardinals, who have nothing left to play for. They're last in their division. They've kind of had a fall apart season after starting pretty well. So they play the Cardinals next, and it's at home. It's the final homestand of the year. I'm sure it's going to be sold out. Petco Park has been all year long. The fan base has been incredible this year. But the fact that this team hasn't been incredible is a huge kick in the nards.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main way to describe this season.
Well, and here's what else is going to hurt is, and I don't know if it's going to hurt or if it's just going to be hard to wrap your head around, maybe a little of both. Let's say they sweep the Cardinals. And then the teams ahead of them start to fall apart a little bit over the next 3 days. And all of a sudden, this 4.5 games back goes to 2.5 games back. And you go, well, wait a minute. Now, all of a sudden, that door looks like it's a little more open. There is a possibility here with 6 games remaining. There are some things that could happen, and they keep you hanging on all the way to the end, and it just doesn't happen.
If you were to ask what's the most Padres thing you can do, that's it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it. I just, God, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
And what's good, they play the Giants after the Cardinals. The Giants are like literally 1 game ahead of them right now in the wild card race. The Giants kind of fell apart over the second half of the season. So it's like there's options here to kind of make up some ground, and then you finish the season with the White Sox. And I mentioned it yesterday. What if it gets to the point where it's the last game and it's the Padres? If they win and someone else loses, they're in.
Well,
they win, the other team doesn't lose.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll be right back there, Fletch.
Yep.
I'll be right back by their side. And here's the reason why, because that's what you do if you care about a baseball team. Yeah, I mean, we look in this city, just because you're calling it like it is, that this is depressing, that this feels hopeless, that we deserved better kind of as a fan base, because the amount of people who spent good money buying season tickets and single game tickets and going out and supporting the team by buying jerseys and all this stuff. If they have a great turnaround that puts them within a stone's throw from the playoffs, or gets them into the postseason by just having that surge we've been waiting for all season long. Well, yeah, I mean, nobody should feel bad about being like, hey, what's going on in the NFL? And then all of a sudden going, oh my God, the Padres are going to be in the postseason?
Yeah.
Well, literally every analytic would tell you it's not going to happen, right? It would be a miracle. Like Fangraphs has them as a 0.4% even after yesterday, even after the last 10 games, which they've gone 8-2 in. They've been the best team in baseball over the last 10 games, as crazy as that is to say.
Look, here, and Travis, I want to hear your thoughts on if they do make a stunning comeback and get into the postseason. But here's where it stands. Right now, Marlins are half game back from being the wild card race or in the playoffs. Cincinnati Reds game back. Giants 3 games back. Padres sit at 4.5 games back. Now, the teams in front of them, the Reds, have gone 5-5 through their last 10. 6-4 for the San Francisco Giants through their last 10, or no, I have it. The Marlins 5-5, Reds 6-4, 4-6 for the Giants, who have cooled off lately. So they may be able to overtake the Giants at some point, and then maybe they make this thing interesting. But I mean, does it matter? Does it, because whether they're close to being eliminated or the first team out or the fourth team out, I don't think I care.
No, I don't care about that. It doesn't. It's a failed season. Look, it's a failed season if they didn't win the World Series this year. So that's what we're looking at right now. I mean, I think that most of us have accepted it. You've swallowed it down. You've gone, okay, let's go to 2024 and look ahead. Now, there is, like we've said several times, there is a chance. It's just very, very unlikely. And then I would ask you, Rich, you played as on an NFL team. You were a pro ball player. When things were looking bleak in a season, but there was still hope, was there anyone in the locker room who thought, I'm giving up? I mean, it's over with.
You can see it on certain people's faces. There's no question about it. If you have good coaching and good leadership, then you can turn things around. And I don't know what this recent surge is from. I don't know if it's because all of a sudden some of the loudest voices in the room have cooled off and have given rise to some of the younger players or the more energetic players, or Bob Melvin's voice, which should have been really the leading voice the entire way. Because, as an old manager who's seen a lot of baseball, has played a bunch of years before he became a manager or a coach in this league, he's going to have some wisdom. And so maybe a lot of the distractions got out of the way so Bob could have the floor for the first time. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I will say this. An athlete wants to compete, and an athlete wants to compete for an opportunity to win it all. There is still a chance mathematically that they can compete for a postseason position. So as long as there's a light, even if it's a candle flickering somewhere a mile in the distance and the winds are strong, you chase that light with all of your might, because if there's a chance, if somehow disaster strikes for 3 teams and you just have the right chemistry going in through the end of the season, weirder things have happened in the world. But that's all the analysis we could offer right now, because frankly, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Correct.
This isn't even the same Padres team we've seen all year. Like, it's different players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insanity. And it would have to be 4 teams, actually, because it has to be one team that already has the playoff spot.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly correct.
Right. But yeah, you are correct here, Fletch. It's not quite the same team we've looked at all year, which also makes you go, Well, wait. So was the problem actually chemistry the whole time? Did something change up here? You changed the recipe a little bit, and all of a sudden now it's a little sweeter.
It's Jimon Choi.
That's it. That's it.
Maybe he's our new Shmeri Schmanchez.
Look, and like you said, Rich, weirder things have happened, especially in sports. There are all kinds of storylines that get written as seasons play out, and they're written in a fashion so many times where you go, if this was a movie, you wouldn't think it was real. So who knows?
100%. Everybody needs to download the free iHeartRadio app because we are getting reacquainted with the talkback feature again.
It was one of my favorite things that we used to do, and I don't really know why we went away from it. It's just things get busy. But the talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app, Joe Moon, everyone knows his name because of this. And so get over to your free iHeartRadio app. If you're listening on terrestrial right now, make the switch over. If you open it up, it's the little microphone icon at the bottom right of your screen. You can drop a 30-second message for us or a 10-second or a 5-second, just maximum of 30-second message for us. And it could sound a little something like this, and it really does make our day when people do it. So take a listen to Joe Moon, who blessed us at the end of the show yesterday.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, we feel pretty good about it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So anyways, use the talkback feature every single day. Wake up with us with the free iHeartRadio app. Listen everywhere you go. Okay. We've got some NFL Week 3 power rankings I want to run through really quick and ask you guys a quick question about that. Before we get to some of the news about running backs around the NFL, let's start here with the San Francisco 49ers, who are in first place in the ESPN power rankings. That sort of feels right.
So you weren't here for this, Rich, when we talked about it, but this is the first double-digit point favorite game of the year.
Okay.
So of the first 3 weeks, tonight is the first 10.5 point spread that we've gotten. 49ers over the Giants. Now, you said it, when it feels like a game's already been decided before they kick off, weird things happen. And I said pretty much the same thing to Travis earlier. He said, is there any chance the Giants even cover the spread? And I was like, yeah, I actually think they might.
I don't know this, but we can research it really quick. My guess is, since the Giants were playing in Arizona against the Cardinals last weekend, they stayed on the West Coast. And so this isn't your classic Thursday night game, short week style game for a team going from East Coast to West Coast. So listen, if I were a betting man tonight, and I'm not, but say I had $20 to throw on a side, I'm taking the 10.5 points.
I have zero interest in betting on this game because it is a total Las Vegas trap. When they give you a line like this, it makes you think, oh, well, the Niners have been so much better than the Giants so far this season. The Giants have looked terrible. That team that the Giants was last year that got into the playoffs and actually looked pretty good at times and gave a lot of teams a lot of trouble is still there. There hasn't been that much changeover.
Yeah.
So because you say that you have zero interest in betting on this game, I feel like we should force you to bet on this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We should. Yeah.
I'm going to take the Niners, but
yes,
I don't feel good about it.
We want you to put Brock on it. And I mean the dog, not the quarterback.
Are you guys in any of the season long, you got to pick one game against the spread every week?
I was on one 2 years ago and I made it pretty deep into the season, but no, not this year.
Okay, this is a game tonight that I am staying the hell away from in that. I'm just waiting for Sunday.
I would agree with that. Look, this is a weird one. Thursday night's a short week for both sides, home game or road team, or home team or road team. But like I said, the Giants made a stay on the West Coast. I think they're going to make it interesting. Dallas Cowboys in second place in the ESPN power rankings. 2-0 start. Absolutely dominated both the New York teams. Opened, obviously, with the Giants. Moved on to the Jets. A little more trouble with the Jets defense, but still handled business. So they're in second right now. Eagles 2-0 start.
Wow.
At number 3. So a lot of people would say, well, why aren't the Eagles second? Look at their games. It's been a little bit of survival for the Philadelphia Eagles.
C-plus football. Chris Collinsworth put it perfect. Or maybe it was Mike Tirico. I can't remember what broadcast it was on. But the guys, they said C-plus football and they're 2-0. That's scary for everybody else in the NFL.
By the way, a year ago, as we were going through power rankings, there was not an NFC team in the top 3. Total reversal.
This is where it gets a little tricky for me because I like the teams ahead of them, but the Miami Dolphins in 4th. The Chargers are a good team. They beat them on the road in a shootout. The Dolphins then went to New England and beat the Patriots in Foxborough and controlled the entire game. The Miami Dolphins, in my mind, are probably the second team in the power rankings, in my mind.
I might have them at 1. I've been so impressed with what Tua's been doing. Now, the question marks about Tua are, is he going to play every game this year? And we still don't know that. But Colin Cowherd, he did his herd hierarchy on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
He does that. He had the Dolphins at 1, and the way he laid it out made so much sense to me. Like, who is stopping that offense?
Right.
Because if you double-team Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle will kill you. If you double-team both of them, their run game can kill you with Raheem Mostert and that levy of backs that Mike McDaniels has back there. The Dolphins are terrifying offensively.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, so are the Niners. The Niners just look like Niners almost look like a tank that's rolling down the field. What are you going to do to stop it? You can't put anything in front of it. It rolls right over it. Whereas the Dolphins, almost a little quicker, a little more surgical strike. You know, it's not quite the same amount of power, but man, they can move fast. I actually like them. I feel like they should move up 1. I would put the Dolphins at number 3 in this. I think Niners, Cowboys, Dolphins look right to me.
For both you guys, Rich, Trav, are the Dallas Cowboys overrated already? 2 games in?
It's tough to say. Look, that's a real defense they beat up on against the New York Jets. The Giants, the story will be told this season, but they're off to a real rough start, especially through the first 6 quarters of their season. They recovered well against the Cardinals last week, but they sacrificed a lot to get that win. They're going to be starting without their best offensive guard, their best pass rusher, their best running back, and their best offensive tackle in week 3 against the 49ers on the road during Thursday Night Football. And they lost the majority of them last week to the Cardinals. So I don't really know what the Giants were when the Dallas Cowboys beat them. And also, all I know about the Jets so far is they've got a fearsome defense. That offense has a long way to go with Wilson back at quarterback. In 5th place, it's Kansas.
You didn't answer the question.
What did I say?
Are the Dallas Cowboys overrated?
Yeah,
already?
Yeah, slightly.
I think they are too.
Slightly. Yeah. I was a long way to say it, but yeah, they are slightly overrated because if I don't know what the Giants are and I'm not sure what the Jets are, it means I don't know what the Dallas Cowboys are.
Okay, I was thinking the exact same thing because Dak Prescott just hasn't really shown you much yet this year. Now, CeeDee Lamb had a ton of receiving yards against the Jets, but CeeDee Lamb always has a ton of receiving yards because he's getting 12, 13 targets a game. So I don't know what the offense is yet. I have 0 questions about the defense. That's legit, and that's scary. But the offense, it seems like it hasn't really kicked into gear yet, even though it's beat up on 2 teams.
Yeah,
go ahead,
what does their offense put up? About 30 points a game so far?
Yeah, tons.
So, yeah, I mean, 30 points a game and a defense that allows nothing. They've outscored their opponents 70-10 so far in 2 games.
Less to me about the Cowboys offense than it is about the teams they played against, who are both reeling at this point.
No, well, what's funny is, even as I'm saying that, I do agree with both of you. It does feel like they're overrated, which is shocking. But part of that is, it's hard for me to buy into Dak Prescott.
Yep. Now, a lot of people have that same feeling, which finally has really caught up with Josh Allen. A lot of people are thinking the Bills and Josh Allen, there's something wrong. It all's looked different since Daboll left for the head coaching job in New York and Ken Dorsey has taken over as offensive coordinator. I'll give you 5, 6, 7 in quick succession here. 1-1 Kansas City Chiefs have 5 in these power rankings. Then it goes to the Baltimore Ravens, who are 2-0 at 6th place, but they have an enormous number of injuries. And then in 7th, it's the Buffalo Bills at 1-1. What's interesting is great bounce back week for the Bills. You look at the Ravens, 2-0, but goodness gracious, at what cost?
J.K. Dobbins out. They have injuries everywhere.
And then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, who looked clunky in the Thursday night opener to start the season and then survived against the Jaguars, who are a good team in the AFC. I want to give credit where credit's due. The Jags could have won that game, but didn't. The Chiefs are better than them, at least last Sunday. So are we good with that? I think the only thing I would say is the Bills, in my mind, could fall out the top 7 and you could replace them with the Detroit Lions because
we're the Bucks.
The Bucks moved up a ton. The Bucks are sitting 13, but they're up 24 spots.
Yeah.
So it does get interesting from 10 to 15. You got the Saints,
got to be in there too. Yeah.
The Falcons, the Commanders, the Bucks,
all in succession,
and the Seahawks.
Well,
all in
teams,
succession. Yeah.
Outside of the Seahawks, those teams are all 2-0.
Yep. Yep,
I mean,
exactly
like
correct.
you talk about this Falcons team who has a pretty big nothing burger at quarterback with Desmond Ritter. Like he's put up
Well,
decent, okay.
hang
He's
on.
managed the
At
game.
Cincy, he was a good college quarterback. And what you're seeing out of him is exactly what he did in college.
The run game, though,
The run
is
game
so
is
good between Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. Have you guys seen that over the top camera view of Bijan's run last week?
unreal.
Yeah.
The way he cuts back and forth is faster than most people running in a straight line.
It's like watching a skier do the downhill slalom.
Yeah.
Like he's just like bouncing. That's what he is. He's a bouncy running back. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you haven't seen any Falcons games, I don't blame you. They're tough to find out here on the West Coast, but if you get an opportunity, he's outstanding. Speaking of running backs, Cam Akers now Minnesota Vikings boy.
Did Sean McVay just really hate him?
He did not like his okay. So this is what I read from things that he's said publicly. This is my own speculation, nothing that I've heard from anybody who has insight, but I don't think he appreciated the effort. I think Cam Akers, if I'm reading between the lines, and it was a lot of coach speak when he would talk about Cam Akers, there was something going on in terms of like Cam Akers can be a great running back when he tries. Like that's what I was hearing from Sean McVay. Yeah, but you have to get a guy who's going to try consistently to be the best back he can be.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I know last season, I think it was last season, Cam Akers. I mean, they just kept sitting him, and fantasy owners lost their minds.
Yeah,
Cam Akers is a good back.
He
I think
has all the tools to be a really good back.
Yeah,
but I think Sean McVay, Rich, to your point, is like this guy who puts in an insane amount of effort into game planning, and when players don't match that effort, he just doesn't like him anymore. And now Cam Akers also had issues in training camp fighting teammates. Like he had a couple different things going on. And last week he just got benched and everyone was like, what the hell, this again?
yeah.
And now he's a Minnesota Viking.
Also, you look at Kareem Hunt catching on with the Browns, signs a 1-year deal, $4 million with the Cleveland Browns. And you remember there was, he was upset with his contract, wanted a new contract, and this is how these things go sometimes. He's back with the Browns. And there were a lot of landing spots where it made sense for Kareem Hunt, but this makes the most because the Browns have a desperate need at running back all of a sudden with the injury to Nick Chubb, and he will be basically the plug and play. Hey, I'm here to start guy.
Yeah, whether it makes sense for Kareem Hunt, it sure makes sense for the Browns.
Yeah,
absolutely.
1B, I think Jerome Ford showed them a lot. He's the rookie that they drafted this year. Now, the Kareem Hunt coming in ruins a lot of people's fantasy football ideas. But did Kareem Hunt not play this perfectly from a free agency standpoint? Because he visited and got contract offers, as reported by Ian Rappaport, from multiple teams during this offseason. And he said, I'm going to wait, see what happens in the first few weeks. Because now the Ravens had injuries, the Browns had injuries. So he was able to almost create a little bit of a bidding war between teams who were running back desperate.
Yeah, but what if there wasn't a bidding war, what's Kareem Hunt worth? $2 million?
Probably.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they doubled his money.
Yeah. I mean, like that's big. I mean, and also, by the way,
I take it.
Well, you also have the offer sheets from the preseason, so you have the opportunity to double your money there. Why not? Why just wait? And that's exactly what he did. So there he goes. He's going to be a Brown. Akers is going to be a Viking. There's already trades going on. The NFL season is only heading into week 3, and it's been bananas so far. What's not bananas is driving around in a Toyota. I can count on it every time I get in the front seat of that car. I know that I'm going to get to exactly where I'm going because it's one of the most dependable cars I've ever owned. It's the 4Runner. It's the 3-row, which is perfect for a family. When I'm driving around and I got all the kids with me and there's somebody in town, we can flip up the back row. When you're going to the beach, but you're going a far trip, meet somebody maybe up in Carlsbad, fold down those things, throw the chairs in the back, the boogie boards, the coolers, like you got room for that too. I love the 4Runner, but I love the full line available over at Toyota. And if you're into going green, well, Toyota's got you covered there because they have this great line of Beyond Zero electrified vehicles for you. The one thing I love the most about the buying process, because I bought my 4Runner new at Toyota, is over at the San Diego County Toyota dealers. Customer service is their utmost, most important priority. So you're going to be taken care of, including some of the most popular cars available there. You're going to have a great experience buying your next car. So if you're in the market for a car, truck, or an SUV, come in today. Toyota, we make it easy. And coming up next, NFL is here, but we must stash you a question for some concert tickets. That's on the other side.
You want to go see Guns N' Roses? Well, first we mustache you a question. It's coming up next.
This update is presented by Macys Backstage. Padres have now won 7 straight. They beat the Rockies 3-2 yesterday at Petco Park. The final home series of the season coming up for the Padres as they welcome the St. Louis Cardinals to town. 9 games left, Padres 4.5 out of the postseason. In the NFL, Week 3 begins tonight. Niners hosting the Giants at Levi Stadium in the Bay Area. The Las Vegas has the 49ers as a 10.5-point favorite heading into the game. Elsewhere in the NFL, couple running backs on the move. The Minnesota Vikings bring in Cam Akers from the Rams, and the Cleveland Browns, who are still reeling after that Nick Chubb injury, they've added Kareem Hunt to their team. That's a 1-year, $4 million deal. And Aztecs football, it's coming up tomorrow night, not Saturday. Special night in the Mountain West as the Aztecs open up conference schedule starting at 5:30 with our pregame coverage. Kickoff will be at 7:30. Listen to it all right here on San Diego Sports 760 and the free iHeartRadio app. What will you find at Macys Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macys Backstage store near you.
San Diego Sports 760. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And San Diego Sports 760 presents our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. It's happening live this Friday and Saturday from T-Mobile Arena out in Las Vegas. The biggest names in music all on one stage, and you can experience the show anywhere, streaming live only on Hulu and listen on iHeartRadio starting at 7 p.m. It's sponsored by HES Solar. It is Thursday. We have Guns N' Roses tickets. We mustache you a question.
I think we have a winner.
And somebody won already.
Hairy upper lip or nah? It's up to you to determine. If you want the prize, you have to play the game. It's time. We mustache you a question.
That's right. It's the game show that's sweeping the nation right here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And we're huge in Whittier, Alaska.
Not Whittier, California?
Nope,
Okay.
Alaska. Because up there, up north, they tune into the free iHeartRadio app, and so should you.
That's right. They also have fantastic mustaches.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen, like their Yellowstone stashes?
What is happening? What is going on?
We're getting like the full show recap here from an audio standpoint.
That one was just weird.
Well,
First one was on me.
Nick is joining us on the line.
There it
He's
is.
our listener contestant for Mustache You a Question. Nick, the rules are simple. All you have to do is guess whether or not the person you're hearing in a few audio clips has a mustache or not. If you answered this question correctly 3 out of 5 times, you're going to win tickets to Guns N' Roses, an October 1st show. So are you ready to play, Nick?
I'm ready to rock.
yeah. I want to rock. No.
Different
Nick,
band.
Different band. It's fine. Nick, are you a big Guns N' Roses fan?
There we go. Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick definitely sounds like he's going.
But
He's not getting these tickets.
You know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby.
He's Nick is the sweet child of mine. Anyways, Nick, we are going to play a clip. You're going to answer whether or not the person has a mustache. And Ben, if you could, let's get this sucker started.
You're the woman I've been waiting for my whole life, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Please, let me finish. I'm crazy about you. I've never felt this way about anybody. Listen to me. I feel like a schoolboy again. A schoolboy who desperately wants to make sweet, sweet love to you. I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Nick, a very memorable moment in cinema history, but can you accurately answer? We must ask you this question. Does that person have a mustache or not?
No mustache.
Yeah.
There it
Clean
is.
shaven. Lloyd Christmas.
Jim Carrey. That is one of the best moments, I think, in any movie I've ever watched.
Oh, there were so many moments
the
in that
tight
movie.
shot
Right? Oh, yeah. Of him
Of
just
Carrey. And I mean, you think he's saying all this to Mary Swanson.
right.
And then all of a sudden it pans out. And you're like, oh, he's by himself.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, you're up 1-0, Nick. You got to get 2 more to get those Guns N' Roses tickets. So here you go. Clip number 2.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I got up a little early, so I took the liberty of milking your cow for you.
Yeah, it took a little while to get her warmed up. She sure is a stubborn one.
We don't have a cow. We got a bull, though.
Nick, we must ask you a question. Does the person speaking in that clip, does that person have a mustache or not?
Yes.
Wow, nicely done. Very nicely done. Now, Roy Munson from Kingpin. In full Amish garb.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than getting caught out in the wild just getting Munson somewhere. So
That's right.
Nick is 2-0.
Yeah, Peter waiting in the wings here to see if Nick will fail. Currently, you have you got a clean slate, so you got to get one out of the next three. Nick, here it is, clip number 3.
Yeah, and see, that's what the problem was. Because I heard him first. I said, hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Because then I start to taste them. I say, and then I start to smell them. So it's like a smell like, tastes like. So I knew something was wrong. I knew something special about it. You know, I ran upstairs. I had to run. And I had to do what that little girl, what's that little girl in the Holocaust? She had she with Anne Hathaway, Frankie Beverly. I had to get up the stairs. So he had so much rhythm when he was walking up the stairs. He said, doom, doom, doom. I started to almost beatbox up in the closet. Oh, boom, boom, boom. But I couldn't do it yet because I couldn't die. I got court tomorrow.
Yeah,
I couldn't die. I couldn't die because I got court tomorrow.
I told him that. All right, Nick. Listen, very few people know of this clip, and I'll explain exactly where I found it in a moment. But Nick, we must ask you a question. Does the person speaking in that clip have a mustache or not?
I've seen that clip, and I'm pretty sure he has the full beard and mustache.
Wow. I think we have a winner.
Wow. Nick, 3 for 3, dude. 3 for 3.
Wow, that is fantastic. Congratulations, Nick, man. You are going to go see Guns N' Roses Snapdragon Stadium October 1st. Everybody else can go to Ticketmaster.com, but not you, Nick, because you want him here on Big Rich CD and Flash. How you feeling, buddy?
Pretty good. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you in a big way. Hang on hold there. Ben's going to get your info. That another impressive showing on Mustache You a Question. Are these too easy?
I frankly think that it depends. It depends on a lot of things. Like Nick is obviously in the wheelhouse. You've seen the movies that we like to watch, Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin. Oh my God,
man.
And then apparently has the same algorithm on YouTube that you do.
I searched, all I had to search to find that video was funny news bloopers. And the I Can't Die Today, I have court tomorrow guy was one of the first I found. I cried laughing the first time I listened to that.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And you know that guy that was outside of Fresno who had just seen someone die and then he attacked the person. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh my God, I gotta
wait.
find it.
So somebody killed somebody, and then the guy who defeated.
It's hilarious.
I don't know if the first person actually died. He was like
Okay.
in the process of killing,
good.
and the dude saved his life. But then his interview after the fact, he was just stoned out of his mind. It's hilarious.
Good.
Yeah, man, I saved the day. It's pretty easy when you think about it. All right, well, huge win for Nick. You're going to go see Guns N' Roses October 1st. That's a sold-out show right now, but if you want to check on tickets, if they make more available, Ticketmaster.com is where you can find those. Okay.
You know that you've been washing your armpits wrong?
We have two things that we need to discuss coming up next. They're both very spicy. One in terms of fast food, one in terms of underarm care. You'll hear all about it coming up next.
Everything's working perfectly.
Everything's going according to plan. Everything's fine. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on this Thursday morning. And we've got a lot to get to.
It just popped into my head here. Just dawned on me. Did the Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk fight just vanish? Is it over?
I'm so glad you brought that up because, yeah, it's oftentimes at the 45s we wander away from sport and we get into some of the more obscure sidebars of the nation's conversation, I'll say. And yeah, the Musk Zuckerberg thing was hot for about a month and then it is fizzled out in a big way. I have no idea where we're at. I completely forgot to check in on that.
I think I'm convinced that Mark Zuckerberg is not actually a real human being who exists.
And that's why Musk doesn't want to fight him?
No, I think that's why it's not going to happen because it's impossible to fight something that's just a theory, basically.
Did you see that Elon Musk is looking for people for his new trial?
Neuralink?
Yeah, Neuralink. They want to implant a chip in your brain.
They're doing it on a person.
Oh, yeah, no, but you can sign up and have it done to you.
I think I'm down.
You are? I was thinking I'd wait till round 2. But let's see what happens round 1.
Yeah, I love like the beta operating systems, but usually there's a couple bug fixes.
Turns out it drains Ben's battery real fast.
If they do the procedure in studio, I'm down while we're on air.
Dude,
I mean,
yeah, I'm in then too.
This seems like a sterile environment.
Yeah, actually, he has his own little room. So Ben, for anybody
who's
not
sterile,
yeah, I was gonna say, if you walked in there,
I was gonna say Ben has the reason why he's in there is because it's the least sanitary room in the building.
Yes,
we just lock him in the box. We say that is the fart box right there. That is where it's at.
Part of the reason the fart box is unsanitary is clearly the way he washes his armpits.
Right. So apparently we've all been doing this wrong.
Doing pretty good today, actually.
I had no idea. I have never seen these videos. I guess it's going viral. That the way to clean your armpits, the proper way to clean your armpits, let me get this posted in our grid here, is with charcoal, salt, and apple cider vinegar. It's the only way it gets clean.
So this whole thing with ACV or apple cider vinegar, it's like it's the newest thing where it's like everybody remember like lemon juice and hot water for a little while. Like everybody's like, it's the first thing you should do in the morning and the last thing you should do at night. And I was just like, lemon and hot water? Are you sure that's going to save the world?
Was it during COVID? Was it during the lockdowns when it was you're supposed to eat an orange while you shower?
Yeah, there were all these weird things.
Bizarre.
But apple cider vinegar has become, it went from something that nobody had ever heard of when we were all kids to something that everybody, I guarantee it, everybody has in their cabinet, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
It's just there.
So I will push back on that. My grandma's been taking like a shot of apple cider vinegar straight up every day since she was like 20.
That's bonkers.
That is bonkers.
It's an Italian thing.
Also,
well,
does your grandma empty the bottle and then fill it back up with some kind of whiskey?
Ben knows one Italian person, and so everything his grandma did is an Italian thing.
My family on that side is Italian.
He was like, she's got a fig tree in the yard. You know, it's an Italian thing.
Putting figs on stuff is an Italian thing. Okay, but no.
Absolutely is not.
On pizza it is.
It absolutely is not.
Okay, whatever. Judge my history all you want.
Hang on.
The apple cider vinegar thing, she had us taking shots of it when we were younger because apparently it repels mosquito bites.
Oh, that's interesting.
What?
So
no way.
So you take a shot of it, and if you're like camping or something, mosquitoes won't touch
Look,
you.
there's some old homeopathic things that people have been doing for a long time that have been proven true. Like I remember my grandma growing up. It's an Italian thing. She said we have to eat chicken soup. Like constantly. She wanted us eating chicken soup.
Wow.
Wait,
hang on.
What do you got? What do you got?
Figs have long held an esteemed position in Italian culture, representing fertility, peace, and prosperity.
No way.
Now hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know if they want them on pizza though.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's what my family does.
But I didn't know that. So,
okay.
Oh, so maybe next time you fly off the handle and call Ben just a little head stupid boy.
Okay.
Maybe think before you talk, you big
know,
dum-dum.
And sometimes that I'll read some sort of stat and then I quickly realize I should have just kept it to myself.
That one we should have kept under the lid. But I will say this.
Do apple cider vinegar next.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Try apple cider vinegar. It's an Italian
Do
thing.
old Italian ladies take shots of apple cider vinegar?
Well, that we know. We know at least one old Italian lady who does.
Super Mario Brothers?
But
It's an Italian thing.
But like chicken soup, right? Eat chicken soup when you're sick. My grandma told me that my whole life growing up. There was no proof that it did anything for you. And then guess what scientists started doing? They're like, all right, is this true? So they would do random blind, or random double blind samples of humans and say, all right, this sick group is going to not eat chicken soup. This other group is going to. They found out it shortens the length and the severity of colds. So it's interesting, man, like some of those things. So apple cider vinegar, it may have all of these different health effects, but are you really going to rub it on your armpits?
No, it also tastes horrible to take a shot of.
Yeah.
Like it makes you want to puke.
Also, do I smell like vinegar the whole day? That's way worse.
And salt, by the way.
Yeah.
You're literally rubbing an abrasive under your arms, shedding off the fresh layer of skin. So your armpits are just raw all day long.
It's a great hack. You're not actually supposed to use anything on your armpits because it messes with the body's natural oils that are there to protect.
No,
I don't subscribe to this theory.
That's an Italian thing. Don't do that.
No, this is not. This is. I heard it on some podcast. I can't remember. I think Kristen Bell said it.
Oh
the
no!
actress.
Hold on. Hang on. Wait. I'm back in. I'm back in.
Apparently, like the soap or the soaps that we have right now are bad for the natural oils in your skin that are meant to protect different things.
Not my Old Spice.
I don't know if this is true or not, but Kristen Bell sounds like a stinky lady. Like, I mean, if you were,
should we try to reach out?
We should call her.
Yeah,
she looks like she smells lovely.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks like she smells incredible. But if her argument, like if her big stand is, look, we're all cleaning our armpits too much. I'm not sure if I want to canoodle with somebody who's got this feeling like, you know what? Yeah, enough with soap in general.
And the dude she's married to kind of looks like he stinks too.
Oh, he definitely stinks.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Well, he's clean and sober, and he probably hasn't smoked in a decade, but he still smells like weed.
Yeah, yeah, he looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. What's his name? Dak Shepard.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's very funny. Very funny, very self-deprecating.
Bell used deodorant.
Also the charcoal aspect of it. If you see me, or if my wife sees me walking into the bathroom with apple cider vinegar, salt shaker, and a charcoal briquette, she's divorcing me.
Would you think it was a sex thing?
No, she'd just be like, you know what? That's enough weird stuff. We're done. Huh. I'm taking the kids. I'm going to my mom's.
Kristen Bell highly recommends using Fat and the Moon, a natural deodorant.
Great.
That sounds gross.
That does not sound good. Also,
unless Fat and the Moon wants to sponsor the show, I love it.
Speaking of spicy, McDonald's is bringing back spicy nuggets.
Finally.
So
I've never had one.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Apparently, these were released in the peak of the pandemic. Like, I'm guessing the marketing department was like, look, we've got all the signage. We've spent millions of dollars on pre-recorded advertising. We're launching the damn spicy nugs, whether or not people can actually leave their homes or not. So back in 2020, the spicy nuggets hit the menus, and then they were quickly taken off the menus. Are you down? That's the question.
I can't eat them.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, hold on. Whoa. Oh, wow. They're breaded and fried.
No, we can't eat these. We're on a diet. This is the worst. Look at these. Look at this picture,
I
Ben.
know. I'm looking at them here.
I know.
Guess
I would
what?
love to just take 5 of them and put
How
them all
do
in
they
my mouth
get them
at the
to
same time.
stack like that?
By the way, Mama Fletch listening into the show this morning text, most popular pizza in my all caps Italian family.
Wow.
Fig spread, prosciutto, and arugula.
Okay. Listen, Mama Fletch, I would never argue with you. So I 100% believe her. But everything out of your son's mouth is questionable. Everything. I can't tell you how many times he said things with the utmost confidence where I'm like, that is just not true at all. And then we researched and we found it exactly was false. This time. Except for this time. I guess figs are an Italian thing.
I would like more examples.
Oh, Ben, it happens daily. We just have to find tape.
Yeah, we'll put together a montage. A blogger wrote about these spicy chicken nuggets and said they've been out a few times now. They're making a triumphant return, which is great because they are the GOAT of McNuggets. Okay. Well, there's only 2.
Good.
I mean, it's either regular McNuggets or spicy McNuggets.
That's such a good point. They're the greatest McNuggets of all time. And it turns out They get 51% of the vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I don't know. I mean, a spicy nugget, I feel like, I mean, we should try a taste. We should try a taste.
Yeah, we should probably just have a taste. I'm sure everybody won't mind.
I'm down a pound again from yesterday, by the way.
What's your official weight?
263. 263.
Boy.
Yeah.
I went screaming running out of the house this morning, so I have no idea what I weigh, but I will get on a scale at some point.
If you mess with the times you weigh in, you might go up because of water weight.
It's very possible. I might just skip today altogether.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So we have Aztecs tickets coming up on the other side. We also have to give away SeaWorld tickets. We promised to do that the first hour. So guess what? We're doing it in the 8 o'clock hour. That's coming up. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
This update is presented by Macys Backstage. It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and we'll start here with the Padres. They've won 7 straight. They took down the Rockies 3-2 yesterday at Petco Park. Padres now welcome the Cardinals to town next for the final home series at Petco Park for the season, the final home weekend for the Padres this season. 9 games left. Padres 4.5 out of a postseason spot. Over in the NFL, Week 3 begins tonight. Niners hosting the Giants at Levi Stadium in the Bay Area. 10.5-point favorites for the 49ers right now. Elsewhere in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings add to their running back room. They trade for Rams running back Cam Akers. The Cleveland Browns, who are still reeling after the Nick Chubb injury, they add Kareem Hunt to their team on a 1-year, $4 million deal. College football, Aztecs open up conference play tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. We got pregame coverage for you starting at 5:30. Kickoff between the Aztecs and Boise State will be at 7:30 with Ted and Rich on the call. What will you find at Macys Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macys Backstage store near you.
Woo! Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. And it is just been a bonkers 24 hours. We've got the FBI raiding homes of NFL coaches.
Or are they?
Or maybe not. We've got a celebrity coupling between a TE and a TS. And then also the Aztecs. We've barely broached the topic of the fact that the Aztecs are taking on Boise State, the Broncos, their conference opener. This is going to be Friday Night Football at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets available at goaztecs.com, or be listening to this show because you have an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to the conference opener at Snapdragon tomorrow night. So excited to do that here coming up very shortly. How do you guys feel about Friday night games in college football?
I'm here for it. It feels a little Mackey, doesn't it? Like midweek.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm here for it because it gives you a spotlight that you wouldn't otherwise have. Saturday is so clustered, and it's not a bad thing. I love Saturdays in college football because you can flip to any station and there's football going on. But it gives you a little bit of a spotlight that you don't typically have. And for a Mountain West opener, having 2 of the premier teams in the Mountain West over the last several years, it's a good thing for the Aztecs. It's a good thing for the conference, and it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, it should be. Boise State obviously rolling off a big win. But look, I mean, everybody has warm-up games. Everybody has warm-up games against competition that may be way over their head and competition that is way underneath them. In terms of the Aztecs, I think that they've scheduled tough competition. Idaho State was no slouch out of the FCS. Ohio U to open the season. That's a very strong MAC team. And then going back-to-back against the Pac-12. But Boise State's been tested up against some of the better teams in the nation as well. So it's going to be a fun matchup.
They're 1-2 headed in. They lost their first 2, and then they won last week.
Yeah, and they won big. So a little bit of momentum for them. Aztecs almost the exact opposite. They went 2-0 and then lost their next 2. So they're 2-2 heading into the matchup. I like Friday Night Football also. I think there's it just gives you an opportunity to be a little bit of a standalone presence in your time slot. A lot of eyes, a lot of attention.
No, it gives it the feeling of the special game of the week. You know, it's the Thursday night game, it's the Monday night game for the NFL. It does give it that feeling. However, it does oddly compete with the Friday Night Lights high school situation.
Just gonna mention that, Travis. What do you say to the high school football moms out there who are like, Fridays are for my boys?
Right.
Well, here's the problem. The only problem you have with Friday Night Football is a lot of the viewers who you're going to want to watch your games are finishing up games of their own when this one kicks off. So a lot of your Aztecs fans or Boise State Broncos fans or really college football fans are attending their kids' games, are actually playing in those games, and so you have to wait till they get home. But 7:30 is a good kickoff time because, you know, a lot of these games wrap by then, sometimes not. But anyways, yeah, I like it because of what you said. It's kind of special, Travis. Like it gives you an opportunity to be one of the few games being played. And I think a lot of people are going to wake up to, or on their way to bed, going to see the Aztecs perform here because I like what I saw against Oregon State in the loss. I know it was 26-9, the box score doesn't tell the story. So I'm very much so looking forward to a much better outing for them against the Broncos.
I also like a night game at Snapdragon. So in any opportunity that they can have the lights on at Snapdragon, I'm there.
Okay.
It's going to look cool out there. I caught a lot of you and John with Coach Hoke last night. You First of all, nice job.
Thank you.
You're very good at that.
Gosh, it's the best.
And it does seem like Brady genuinely likes you, which is nice.
Yeah. You know, I can only say that about very few people. I'm sitting in a room with two.
Well,
I don't think
one
they're
and a half.
Whoa!
You were talking a lot of crap earlier, man.
Wow.
I was talking crap about what?
Me.
What did I say?
My Italian heritage. This blood runs deep and it's thick.
No.
That's an Italian thing.
There-
Thick blood.
I don't. Also, I think we're gonna have to research that one. Also, I don't know if that's true. Imagine we keep looking up and Ben, every off the wall bonkers thing he says now
It's
is
an
true.
Italian thing.
It's like, wow, Italians do genetically have thicker blood.
I have no idea about that one. But what I was going to say is I think Brady felt similarly to how we felt about that Oregon State game, where even though it was a loss, even though there were some mistakes down the stretch, that was a much improved Aztecs football team than the team that played against UCLA, because there was one penalty in that game, and it was for 5 yards against the Aztecs. That has been an issue for now a year and 3 games, is the penalties. That got cleaned up for one game. Now, can they extend that? Hopefully. Jalen Maiden, although near the end of the game, he threw that interception in the red zone. That's not good. The Aztecs were living on the other side of the football field. Oregon State just has a really good red zone defense.
Yep.
And they got some big boys.
Yeah, you got to give credit to where credit's due. Aztecs, though, I do think they've improved over the 4 games. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. You could be there if you just keep listening. We have a pair of tickets there to give away. Also, we have a pair of tickets, or I should say a family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego. That's right. SeaWorld's Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego is back with every twist and turn, death-defying drop, a new special effects, and more scares in 5 terror-filled houses. We'll give you something to scream about. There's even more dark magic lurking around every corner with electrifying, mesmerizing live entertainment. The screamiest event of the season is now only at SeaWorld San Diego's Hallow Scream, starting September 29th through Halloween on select nights. For more information, visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com or keep listening for those tickets, that 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld.
While you started that read, Ben whispers in my ear, give me a howl. Give me a howl. So that I howled. I felt like it was bark like a dog. Smart. Do it. Do it.
You're a bad dog, Travis. You are such a bad dog. Yeah, rough transition here, but
Well, before we make it easier transition,
How
about a talk back?
Okay.
We've got a few that have come in
Oh,
today.
hey now.
Want to start promoting that. So free iHeartRadio app. The Talkback features the little microphone on the bottom right of your screen when you're listening to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch live. This is a little heartwarming story that one of our listeners had happen to him yesterday.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
So the Bogarts jersey giveaway was Monday?
No, I think it was just a trade.
Yeah.
It was a Bogarts jersey for the tickets.
Oh my God.
That's cool.
Oh, I completely misunderstood that. I thought what he was saying is he missed the game because he had tickets Monday and the guy had gone Monday and there was a giveaway and he shared one of the jerseys that.
I think there was just a little exchange. Yeah, so good for them. And then
that?
Joe Moon is back this morning. You guys want to hear from
okay.
him?
Of
yes,
course,
yeah.
of course. Are we screening these beforehand or are we just going for it? Okay, here's Joe Moon. We do.
Tequila. 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 Oh gosh. Joe Moon is living the life I want to live.
Right.
I want to just spend a full 24 hours inside of that gentleman's head. But yeah, if you want to talk to us, click on the microphone icon next to the play button. If you go to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on the free iHeartRadio app, really simple app to use. You click on our show and you have an opportunity. I mean, it just sends it directly over to a computer in Ben's room over here, and then he'll see it, he'll screen it, and we'll play it on air. So you disagree, you agree with the show, you want to tell a story, we'd love to hear from everybody out there. Yeah. Okay. Alan Williams, you wouldn't know the name. Nobody did. Alan Williams is a defensive coordinator for Matt Eberflus, who's the head coach of the Chicago Bears. These names are going to disappear into anonymity pretty soon here because the Bears stink. They've stunk since Eberflus took over. The defense for the Bears particularly has stunk for a while now. And so this resignation from a gameplay standpoint, I don't think makes a huge difference this season. But the sum total of this story is the Bears are such a dumpster fire of a mess this season. This seems to be one of like the only teams that this could actually happen, and you would think it's true. But apparently Alan Williams' home yesterday, per reports, was raided by the FBI. Then more reports tumbled out saying that Hallis Hall, the training facility for the Chicago Bears, which I've been to, that was raided by the FBI. And then also former Bears safety Peanut Tillman, who's now an FBI agent, was involved in the raid.
Okay.
So a lot of these reports have been refuted, but Alan Williams has submitted his resignation.
Yeah, and I feel like the first report was he was let go, and then the resignation was submitted. But not seeing that now, so maybe I'm completely wrong. But yeah, he said, or the Bears have said that he resigned due to health challenges, had nothing to do with the team or the performance or the record. Resigned for health challenges, and then that there was no raid on his home. Those reports are 100% untrue. There was no discussion about a raid of the facility, though, which I don't understand.
No, yeah, there was a tweet that went out
that said that was not true.
There was a lot of reporting yesterday.
Yeah.
So Ian Rappaport, after everything was going crazy in the morning, Ian Rappaport said, clarity, colon. The FBI did not raid Hallis Hall today. The league,
Italians say Colin.
Yeah. The league is not involved. Peanut Tillman is not involved whatsoever in this matter.
Okay, so they did. I didn't see that.
That was Ian Rappaport after the fact of all the reporting in the morning. And some of the allegations that were out there, I hesitate to even mention it, but I wouldn't read too far into it because there was a lot of bad reporting on this so far. And it's like this could ruin a man's life if any of it's true.
Yeah, but I mean, why would this reporting come up?
I don't know, man. This was a weird situation.
Bears
yesterday.
podcaster Bill Zimmerman tweeted on Wednesday, the story I'm hearing around Alan Williams, if true, is shocking. I would not expect him to ever return to the Chicago Bears. It has nothing to do with his coaching performance. So that echoes with what Chicago Tribune Bears reporter Brad Biggs tweeted also yesterday. A lot of speculation about the status of Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams. I can tell you the last 3 days we've been operating under the belief that his absence has not been related to health or family matters. Okay, so the rumors of FBI raid seemingly started with a tweet from a weird aggregation account on Twitter that a lot of people follow. That, and by the way, an aggregator is a Twitter person or X.com person or bot that just collects tweets from other people and posts it to their own social media. And sometimes
they'll clips out video from other people's YouTube pages and throws it up there. There's some in San Diego that do it to Marty Caswell.
Yeah. And look, this happens all the time across the internet. It's so some of these people have hundreds of thousands of followers. So any little newsworthy blurb, they're going to throw it up there and sometimes give a credit to. So there was a tweet that was found about this Alan Williams things, and then this stunning resignation occurred. He's handed in his official resignation to the Bears, and as a result, he's no longer effectively today going to be their defensive coordinator. I don't know if there's any truth to the FBI stories. What I can tell you is coaches don't get fired for no reason, okay? So it's either something that happened on the field or something that happened away from the field but in the building, or something that happened off the field. We will have more news as it's available, but this is one of the more bizarre stories of the start of this 2023 football season, because we really had a lot of bold accusations being made yesterday with what it seems like very little validity as of this morning. We'll find out what the truth is soon. If there's one thing I do know is once you have the interest of the NFL world, and I'm talking about fans of the game, bloggers, reporters, they're going to zero in and try to figure out exactly what went down in Chicago.
Well, Justin Fields had some interesting comments as well on this situation here. Did he say that, well, the coaching was robotic?
Yeah, no, it wasn't about this situation.
Different thing.
Yeah, it was just he was asked about how he thought he's played for the first few weeks, and he mentioned that he was playing robotic, and then he actually kind of took a shot at coaching in it. I can play that audio. We have it right here.
It's really interesting. So
it's not related to the defensive coordinator.
I'll set this up this way. So Justin Fields, who has been the Bears quarterback for the past 2 seasons now, has not played very well. He's an electric playmaker. But the problem is when you're a first rounder, you've got to be a franchise changing player. Now, what he's complaining about in this clip is something that is considered a huge no-no. If you're a quarterback and any coach in the NFL hears this, you're going to have a hard time finding a job pretty soon. Here's Justin Fields.
Of course, things that I didn't like, I felt like, I wasn't necessarily playing my game. Felt like I was kind of robotic and, not playing like myself. So my goal this week is just to, say F it and just go out there and, play football how I know how to play football.
When you say thinking less, what do you think was causing you to think so much, maybe think too much?
Could be, coaching, I think. But, at the end of the day, it makes it, they're doing their job when they're giving me, what to look at, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I, can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's it's time to play free at that point. So just thinking less and playing more.
I'm going to play my game. I'm overthinking things because of coaching. I'm playing robotic. Look, I get it. It hasn't been pretty for him. He got parachuted in as a first rounder to an absolute disaster of a franchise, like many first rounders do. And this lends credence, by the way, to the argument for like a Caleb Williams not wanting to go to an Arizona Cardinals, because look at Patrick Mahomes. You land as a middle of the first round pick in a stable culture with Andy Reid. You got a year to learn from a veteran pro like Alex Smith, a very giving leader. And then you start your career the way you should with a little bit of wind under the wings. With Justin Fields, it was out of the frying pan into the fire from day one. And he's run screaming around the league, trying to avoid the pass rush and make plays. And here's my problem. At some point, you got to be able to deliver the football from the pocket. Like at some point, you need to sit in there and be able to see open routes and throw to open players. He doesn't do that. There's already film from this season where he's sitting back there and there are open, even to the side where he's looking, there are open players. He's gotten time from his offensive line and he still makes the wrong choices. So,
that Big Cat, I think he does a bunch of work with Barstool and NBC.
Yeah.
He put up a compilation of like 3 different videos where Justin Fields missed touchdowns. Like he didn't even throw it to the guy. It wasn't an overthrow or an underthrow. It was a missed touchdown. That dude was wide open on a seam route or a crossing route, whatever. And I think that the thing that Bears fans are pissed off about is last year you saw Justin Fields do some special things in the run game with him. And I think that there's been a concerted effort for Justin Fields' coaches this year to keep him in the pocket, to try to get better at what you're talking about, Rich, which is at some point we got to know if you can throw, because this run thing isn't going to last forever. You're going to get hurt or you're just going to wear down. Quarterbacks running generally don't last past the age of like 30 because of that very reason. So Justin Fields, they need to know what they have or they need to go back to the draft.
Yeah, they're probably got to go back to the draft. That's what it looks like. This outside looking in here, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels that way. These comments are not great, and you're right, Rich. You want to not have a job. That's how you start talking.
Yeah,
start talking about the boss.
Yeah, he's saying, "Get me out of here." I bet
Right.
he may not even know he's saying it. He may just be frustrated and answering questions extemporaneously. You know, he's being asked questions. And
He
so
walked back the comments later and said, "Look, I'm not blaming anyone but myself." But that clip is that clip.
No, yeah,
like you were blaming someone else.
that it is as clear as day. You said the reason why I'm overthinking things is coaching. The question was asked, the question was answered, and it was answered honestly, in my opinion. So I don't know where we go from here in Chicago. They have a defensive coordinator who may or may not had his house raided by the FBI. Poor reports yesterday.
I'm leaning on probably not.
I'm guessing not,
Yeah.
based on some of the new facts that are being revealed, but very odd that story started in the first place. He is, as he says in his resignation, leaving coaching for now because of health and family issues.
Did you see the reasons people were throwing out there of why his house was raided?
No, I didn't see.
Okay, it was extremely dangerous reporting yesterday. And these were people with blue check marks that I'm talking about. And I'll tell you guys during the commercial break, it's not cool to repeat on air. But I think that now that part of it's in question, all of it's in question. And I'm saying if you're going to be that reckless throwing stuff out there, you don't deserve to be a reporter.
Well, look, here's the problem in our society. If you're not first to a story, then you're going to be punished by your employer. So there's an insane amount of pressure. And trust me, I've sat in locker rooms talking to some of these guys like Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter during their time. These are the busiest people I've ever known. They never stop looking at their cell phone. Even when they're talking to you, they are listening as they're texting or tweeting. Like
Shefty's a 2 cell phone guy. He's got one in each hand.
They all have to be, because you need to have so much contact so often that it's it. So anyways, look, I'm not blaming him or Schefter, but I'm saying a lot of these reporters are under that same scrutiny. So the reality of the situation is, as soon as a story gets reported, it gets shared immediately. We live in this like attention span of only 10-second society where everybody wants news right now, and we only want it in these small chunks. And just tell me the headline. Okay, my goodness, Williams, he had his house raided. Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
What
right.
did Justin Fields say? Oh, okay, moving on.
Which, by the way, when you fall into that trap, those headlines are meant to bring you in. They're meant to be thought-provoking. They're meant to get clicks. So the headlines you can't trust.
Yeah, you definitely, you absolutely cannot. All right, coming up next, Cam Inman covers the 49ers in the Bay Area. He's going to jump on with us. But right now, I got to talk to you about the Good Feet store. Good Feet, these arch supports have been a game changer for me. You put them in your shoes, you walk around, you just start feeling less joint pain. That is the bottom line. That's how it's been for me after a 6-year NFL career. I slide these into my shoes, and I've been doing it for over a year now, and the joint pain melts away for me. Right. So the foot, the ankle, the knee pain that I experienced, the hip pain that started actually in my 30s, my back pain that's been constant throughout the time since I've retired from football. I mean, it's been a problem, and it's so much less of a problem now with the Good Feet store. They got 200 plus locations around the U.S. and overseas, 30 years of experience, actually more than that, 30 plus years of experience. Go to goodfeet.com to book your appointment today. Cam Inman joins us coming up next.
We're going to talk some 49ers with Cam Inman coming up next.
This update is presented by ChooseMatt.org. Padres have now won 7 straight games. They got 9 left in the season, 4.5 out of a postseason spot. NFL Week 3 begins tonight with the 49ers hosting the New York Giants at Levi's Stadium. Niners are 10.5-point favorites heading into the game. Elsewhere in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings, they add Cam Akers to their running back room via trade from the Rams, and the Cleveland Browns give Kareem Hunt a 1-year, $4 million deal. College football, Aztecs opening up conference play tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. We got pregame for you starting at 5:30. Kickoff between the Aztecs and Boise State at 7:30. Tickets are still available at goaztecs.com. When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive or deadly fentanyl take away your life or your choices with just one wrong pill. Find medically proven treatment options at ChooseMatt.org.
It's Big Rich, Edie, and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. If you want to go to the iHeartRadio Music Festival, make a little road trip up to Vegas, now's the time, man. Go to AXS.com. They just released some more tickets, $55. It's going to be unbelievable. If you're staying home, you want to watch it, you can stream it live on Hulu. You can also listen on iHeartRadio. That starts at 7 o'clock this Friday and Saturday, sponsored by HES Solar. And we still have a bunch of tickets giveaway because we still haven't done it. Even though we promised. So SeaWorld Hollow Scream tickets coming up. We got a 4-pack of those. And we also have the Aztec tickets to give away. This segment, we will give them away. We promise. Otherwise, we're screwed.
Yeah, we have 2 segments left. So we're definitely giving away at least a pair, if not a 4-pack. So be listening for that. Cam Inman joining us right now on the show, covers the 49ers. And we've had him on the show before in the preseason talking about how good the 49ers could be and talking about Brock Purdy and talking about all of his weapons, talking about this great defense they have. And everything we said in the preseason appears to be coming true, Cam. Like, this team looks like an absolute juggernaut. I don't know if people remember the Bills' start to the season. It was just demolishment of the Rams and I believe the Titans to start the season in 2022. And everybody's like, oh my God, the Bills may never lose a game. Well, the Niners have that feel. What should we expect tonight against the Giants on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, are we ready to crown them already? I mean, but you know what? Denny Green, Go back to 2019, and they actually started off with bigger road wins than they did the last 2 weeks in Pittsburgh and LA. But I think they should win pretty handily over the Giants tonight. And that's going to ramp it up even more because, I mean, the Giants are coming in without Saquon Barkley, without the left side of their O-line, and Nick Bosa is hunting for his first sack of the season, first sack since getting that big contract. So, yeah, I think they should roll them pretty good tonight, although the Giants' interior, the defensive line's pretty good. And then you look at the Niners' offense and you go back to it and you go, yeah, okay, those guys are pretty darn good. And, I mean, it seems with Purdy, they're rolling up 30 points every game. And it's going to be home opener tonight, so there's going to be a lot of energy. As much energy as there is, I guess, in Silicon Valley on a Monday or on a Thursday afternoon kind of commute. Everybody's getting into Highway 237 traffic. So it'll be a little mixed.
Yeah, you know what, Cam? I saw a stat that when Purdy was getting blitzed, he was still completing almost 80% of his passes. I mean, does New York try to pressure him, or do they try something different?
They are known to blitz, and Brock Purdy is known to beat the blitz. You know, when he came in place of Jimmy Garoppolo the first time last November against Miami just sent the house at him. And that was one of the reasons that the 49ers knew immediately they had something in Purdy, because he didn't get flustered and he knew where to go. And it also helps when you can just unload the ball quickly to Kittle or Debo. We'll find out later if Brandon Ayuk's playing tonight or not, but he's got a lot of nice weapons around him, and you have the best offensive tackle in the game at Trent Williams on protecting your blind side. So remember, Purdy got hurt last year in the NFC Championship game because Hassan Reddick came around the other side, around the right side. So he's taken a couple of hits already also. And he doesn't look like he's got the deer in headlights look. So he looks like he's ready to go. And he's got that little fiery demeanor that he may not be like a 6'4" pocket passer, but he's got that sixth sense in the pocket where he's like, does he see the safety coming? And he does, and he spins away from him. And it's been fun to watch.
It has been cool to see him like just take everything as it comes. You know, he's very cool, calm, and composed. But if I think back to this off-season Cam, I think about Kyle Shanahan saying multiple times that the Christian McCaffrey usage is going to be down to start the year so they can save him from the playoff run. It has been through the roof. In fact, Elijah Mitchell didn't get a single touch last weekend. What are they doing with Christian McCaffrey, and is this sustainable?
If you've seen Christian McCaffrey, you'd want him to touch the ball every time too. I mean,
well, yeah.
He is awesome. And I mean, you knew that when they traded for him, it's like, okay, well, this is a perfect fit. That's what they should have done in 2017 was they drafted the wrong kid out of Stanford. They took Solomon Thomas instead of McCaffrey. And I mean, he's tailor-made for this offense. He's such a good pro. So we were talking to McCaffrey at his locker 2 days ago about this whole usage thing since he didn't come out of the game. And he really put it in some pretty good perspective. And not that he wants to be a ball hog or get off the field. It's just the way that game was going against the Rams. The Niners weren't on the field much on offense. They would go down and score in 2 minutes. And then it would be the Rams ball, and the Rams would hog it for about 5 minutes. And so he got lots of rest in between series. And so it wasn't as if they just kept putting him out there. And so by the midway of the fourth quarter, they're like, okay, now we can, just kind of go into cruise control here. And they did. So I guess you worry about it, especially all the fantasy owners out there, that's what we're really talking to, right? Is he going to be able to last 17 games? And the dude's in great shape. They know how to use him. And it's not a one-man show when you got Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and Juwan Jennings and enough other talent around there where you're not so overly reliant. And then Elijah Mitchell, his understudy, he's the one that's been getting hurt a lot in his career. So it's like, okay, if you can preserve and not use Mitchell this game, go for it. That was last game. This game, they should use him a little bit.
Cam Inman joining us, Mercury News. You can find him on X at Cam Inman. You know, I think of the 49ers in this way. They are building what the Patriots built, but better. And so follow me here. Stable culture, obviously a coach with a vision and a very business-like mentality. Even though Kyle Shanahan seems more approachable, I think he is very business-like. And I believe in what John Lynch is as a talent evaluator. I know they missed on Trey Lance, but hey, guess what? How many first rounder has Bill Belichick missed on? A lot. But what they get is great players in the mid-round drafts, free agents who end up panning out for them because they're great at developing talent. Am I way off base with that thought process? But it does sort of like it's starting to feel like Patriots West.
I don't know. I mean, it's so premature. Let them win a Super Bowl for the first time in about 30 years before we start comparing them to the Patriots. I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of how. I mean, it would also help if Brock Purdy becomes Tom Brady 2.0. But I mean, you're right. In terms of the roster construction, they built it the right way with a nice blend of draft picks, but also they've been smart in free agency where they're not going out and getting a ton of guys every year. It's like they're getting one guy that they overspend on, and those guys have kind of panned out. They make one big trade, whether it's Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Emmanuel Sanders a few years ago, and that pans out. And then you get to the Belichick Shanahan comparison. What you're right on is they are business-like. Shanahan is probably the most transparent coach I've worked with in 20 years. He's very personable and but he's really demanding of the guys. I mean, it's not going to be, hey, that was pretty close enough. He is really a perfectionist, and you kind of see how that trickled down to Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, because Shanahan was a college wide receiver, I guess, by trade from Duke to University of Texas. And so he likes hanging out with those guys before practice. And I think a few years ago, Ayuk was in the doghouse this time of year, and they kind of had to stress to him the urgency of, look, on the field, there are certain landmarks. You have to cut at this point of the numbers or this inside the hash marks. And Ayuk kind of understood that. And that's why he's been their number one wide receiver the last year and a half. And because of that, Shanahan, look, everything's all based on timing in my offense. If you are where you're supposed to be, you're going to have room to run because nobody can match up against his offense. There's always holes, and Purdy sees that. I mean, that's kind of why Purdy's excelled also, is he understands the offensive, like how hard it can be, but he can read the defenses. And I think that separates a lot of quarterbacks.
Cam, you brought up Brock Purdy again, a little comparison there, or non-comparison to Tom Brady. Fletch over here got a puppy about a week ago. He named him Brock. Too soon? Too soon on that?
No, that's what kind of puppy is it? Is it a golden retriever or what do we got?
It is a Mexican street dog. We have no idea what he is.
With a bum elbow.
What the hell, dude?
I was gonna say that's perfect. Purdy's got a little Mexican street dog in him, doesn't he? I mean, you see when he scores a touchdown, he gets all feisty. I think that kind of trickles down to the teammates too. They dig it. I mean, the guy he has not lost a regular season game yet. He won 8 games in a row upon replacing Garoppolo last year, got elbow hurt, won the last 2 games, should win tonight. So just put him down for about 7 Super Bowls. There you go.
Cam, honestly, just this week was the first time Rich Ohrnberger, who's former NFL player, offensive lineman, I think he's a pretty good talent evaluator. This week is the first time he's given Brock Purdy credit for being a good quarterback in the NFL and being a franchise quarterback. Are people in San Francisco, well, I know the fans are, but the media, are you all still skeptical on whether or not Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback who is one of the top 15 to 10 quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh, I think the Bay Area media he won us over like last year, just how he kept winning and kept that machine rolling. And where he ranks, it's to be determined, I guess. But I mean, here's why, and it's interesting that Rich said that after last week, because it was one of Brock's lowest percentage or passer rating games, whatever that means. He didn't throw a touchdown, but more importantly, he didn't turn the ball over. And Stafford's the one that threw 2 second-half interceptions. And that's kind of what doomed the Rams and just kind of let the Niners go on their merry league way and winning at SoFi. So he's smart with the ball, and we're going to jinx him right here because he's never thrown 2 interceptions in a game before. He's only thrown 4 picks his whole NFL career. So that Mexican street dog better be ready to fight back from any interceptions tonight. How's that?
Yeah, look, we looked at the point spread earlier today. It's 10.5, and I'm leaning Giants because you can't keep a good dog down for too long. And Brian Daboll, even with all the injuries and the situations, like you feel like this might be a sneaky spot where the Giants can make it a game. I have the Niners winning, and you're right, Cam. Like, it was his worst performance as a passer, you could argue, in last week's game against the Rams. But good quarterbacks don't lose you games. And Brock Purdy, I mean, outside of getting injured, he hasn't lost the Niners a game yet.
Correct. Well, I mean, in last game, he overthrew 3 guys, right? So that was the whole thing. The uproar was he can't hit these deep wide receivers. But here's the key thing about the 3 overthrows. Not the fact that he overthrew him with his new bionic arm. It's the fact that he got 3 shots to do it. And that Shanahan said, yeah, keep doing it, dude. Rip it. Because that's how much he like believes he's got his quarterback ready to go.
Absolutely. Cam, awesome chat as always. We'll do it again, I'm sure. The Niners are going to be at the top of the newsreel here, it feels like, for the whole season. Thanks for jumping on.
Guys, thanks for having me. It's my way of talking to my daughter in Point Lome. She can wake up, go to class, listen to her dad now on the radio. That's good.
Yeah, there you go. And we know she listens to 760 as everybody does in San Diego. Thank you, Cam.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Cam Inman, Mercury News, and we promised it. We absolutely need to do it because we're running out of show to do it. So 844-570-1360. If you want to go see the Aztecs take on the Boise State Broncos, you need to call in right now. Caller number 5 is going to win those Aztecs tickets. So 844-570-1360. Again, kickoff tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. at Snapdragon Stadium. If you don't win those tickets, don't worry. GoAztecs.com is where you can go to purchase those. So
that's the fastest these phone lines have lit up in weeks.
People were waiting. Okay, we also have a 4-pack of tickets on the other side to SeaWorld's Hollow Scream. So be right where you are. We got more coming up next. So we got those SeaWorld tickets, 4-pack of SeaWorld tickets coming up in just a little bit here.
Do we give a time for the people listening on the stream on the free iHeartRadio app, which everyone needs to download? Make sure you have it on your phones. You can take Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760 with you everywhere you go.
Keep your ears glued because we're going to give you the time in 5 minutes. We're going to tell you exactly when to call. It's going to be after our show ends, but you're going to have a time to call in as soon as our show ends. Smart. Stick around for just 5 minutes. And if you're listening to us wherever you're going today, we appreciate it. The iHeartRadio app is free. Download it today. Follow, subscribe, like all of the podcasts, and they'll be downloaded to your phone. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. So you can, I was just doing it today as I was screaming, running out of my house, way overslept my alarm, listening on the free iHeartRadio app. That was fun.
I'm going to go back and listen to Lauren Carpenter from today. That was at 6:30. That was a long time ago. She gave some really good fantasy football advice that people will want to hear.
Travis used it already.
Yeah, Travis freaking mid-interview. I get an alert on my phone in our league that we're in together.
Don't give up the name if you want to listen to that. There's a specific running back she said to.
Whoa. Travis added someone mid-interview.
Yeah, he did.
That's because you guys picked up your phone to add the same guy mid-interview.
That's also true.
Okay.
That's
all
also
right.
true.
So sorry, I was a little faster. Dulcich.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Exactly correct.
I was going to get rid of TE also. I was getting rid of Meyer with the Raiders, who has not been fed the football.
Which, see, I thought, you know what? Russell Wilson, he's going to have to check to somebody.
He also has
Dulcich.
3 tight ends.
Yeah. Who, me?
No, Russell Wilson has 3 tight ends on the Broncos, and they all get used like the same amount.
And Dulcich is nursing an injury. A little update with the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce dating rumors.
You talking trailer?
I'm talking trailer. This is from Taylor Swift's camp. Who said this? Just a source is all they're saying. She and Travis have hung out twice.
What?
It's nothing serious, but she thinks he's very charming, and they have been texting.
Sounds like a lot of booty slapping going
That's
on.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I get it.
They've held hands.
All of a sudden, like, I think he comes into the huddle and Patrick Mahomes is like peeling a sequin off of Travis's cheek. Like, where have you been, Trav?
He's just covered in glitter. Travis Kelce seems more like the popcorn bucket in the movie theater guy to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I took her on a real fancy date.
Yeah.
We went to the AMC and
I cut a hole in the bottom of the bucket.
She told me.
Never mind.
She thought it was funny.
Gross.
I think we're all just a little jealous.
Just like, yeah.
Dude, I also, separating this from that comment Travis just made, I really miss popcorn.
Wait a second. Okay, so Travis talking about cutting a hole in the bottom of a popcorn bucket, and you're like, you know what sounds good right now? Popcorn.
That's what I was saying. Separating.
I would reach into that bucket.
Separating what I'm about to say.
That's
from
what Ben
Travis
just said, because that's what Italians do.
I just really miss popcorn.
No, this is what Ben says. He goes, it's an Italian thing.
I was right. You jerk.
Well, this time.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Wouldn't
mind getting my hands on that
I
thing.
said it about 2 things, and one of them we have confirmed is correct. Thank you, Travis.
What was the other thing?
I forget now.
Apple cider vinegar. Taking a shot of it.
Let's see. From
Okay.
Italians?
Yeah.
Apple cider.
Long, rich history of apple cider vinegar in Italy. If you're right on this, then maybe we have to go back and review the record on everything you've gotten wrong.
Hang on. Italians.
Because it used to feel like a much longer list.
I don't know. Don't see anything coming up quick other than Italian apple cider vinegar, but we can't say that that's an Italian thing.
Well, my grandmother, who is first generation, born in America.
How old is she, by the way?
She's in her 80s.
How long?
80. She's in her
80?
80s.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Really sweet lady.
And she takes a shot every day?
She pretty much of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
And then like 10 glasses of red wine.
Sounds like a new diet.
Also Italian thing.
Yeah, that actually confirmed. All right.
Yeah. I'm not seeing this, by the way. This is not coming up.
Call in at exactly 8:58 if you want to win those SeaWorld tickets. We got a 4-pack to Hollow Scream at SeaWorld. 8:58 for all of our app users. You can dial in right then. Not a single second before. Otherwise, we'll hang up on you. Who do we thank?
Go listen to the podcast and listen to Lauren Carpenter, who we thank first and foremost, and Cam Inman, who was talking 49ers previewing Thursday Night Football. Go catch up on the free iHeartRadio app.
The Herd is next. We'll see you tomorrow.